Welcome back to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler, here with Johnny. Johnny, what's going on?
Hey, Tyler, I'm still recording. I don't know why you keep starting over.
Why can't we start the show?
This is the start. We just did it. You started it.
Johnny, I got two things.
Congratulations.
I'm done with you.
Don't start it over again. That would be a waste.
I got two things I want to bring up at the start of this show. And a little start, before we talk about video games, we talk about some stupid bullshit that's going on in the world.
Okay. It's not politics, right? You're not going to get political.
I mean, everything's related to politics when you think about it.
Oh, Tyler, it sounds like we're walking a very dangerous road.
No, it's the Christmas season, Johnny.
It is.
It's a time of giving. It's a time of charity. And I think I may have mentioned this on the last Collector's Quest. I just need to really emphasize what the past year of my life has been like. I need you to know, I'm starting the show in this because this is how important I think this is. You need to never donate to any charity, ever, at all.
Hold on.
No charity can ever get your information.
Okay. So just to be clear, Tyler's stance on charity is fuck the poorest.
Absolutely. Do not. They are going to take your donation and use it to send you 10,000 pieces of mail. I get 5 pieces of mail every day from every charity you've ever heard of, because I'm not blaming her for this, but like Ada made like basically $100 donation to like a Cleft Parrot charity because like her friend was doing a fundraiser, and when your friend's doing a fundraiser for something that's important to them, it's polite to like go make a donation to the thing. I've done this before. I've like donated through Twitch to like various things what my friends were doing, like live streams and stuff, but I always donated like through some Twitch platform. The charity never got direct access to my information, but the way Ada donated, they got her address, they got her email address, and they have everything, and they just immediately sold it, and now we are on the list of suckers. They think that we are just like ready to give money to everything, and it's not just the fact that I get a shitload of spam now, but like all of these things, they got like pictures of diseased dogs. I get pictures of like birth defects and shit. Every single day in my mail, I get this shit. It is horrible.
First off, Tyler, yes, I agree with you in this regard, that you should be very careful how you donate. I mean, it's not just this either. You don't want to do any of the register. Like when you go to the register and they're like, oh, would you like to, round up to give a child with a disability another chance? And of course, your human emotional brain says, obviously, like, what does 60 cents mean to me? I'm just trying to eat this taco. Yeah, take 60 cents. But that just gives the corporation a donation, and then they write it off, and you don't know how any of the money filters through corporations or like how the charity disperses those funds. You should be very careful about how you donate to charities and who you donate through, because like you said, a bunch of them are just charity wheels, which will sell all of your information. And that's actually their platform, is they create a bunch of charities and then they make money off selling your information while giving the money that you give them away. They make money through information distribution. It's pretty insidious. Hey, Tyler, welcome to that version of your life.
It's horrendous.
Yeah, and then when corporations do it, it just becomes write-offs for them. And you know what big corporations need is more write-offs, because we surely haven't been giving them enough free passes lately. Yeah, I hate all of this. You know what? The best thing you can do, and you should want to do something. You should donate your time after you research a charity, if you can, and give them some of your time to help them. There's a couple organizations that pack go bags, and just like overnight bags in general for kids who have had traumatic experiences or get pulled away from their families and find themselves in like foster care and lonely, especially around Christmas time, so that they have something that is given to them that's distinctly theirs. I did a lot of research on that. That feels good, and my time is well spent. And then I give some money on the side, but never attach my name to it, because I don't need it that bad. I don't need that small amount of kickback from the government to say I gave it to a charity and then have all this horrible things happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find a way to either do something else or give in cash and, like, I don't know, your local church or something. And when I was a kid, I remember going to church and, like, they had a multi-$100,000 stained glass window fund. So I don't think giving to a church is maybe the best use of your cash. But if you need to give your money to something and feel good about it, do that rather than give to one of these charities. And if you work for a charity, fuck you. Because the opt-out websites on their website, the opt-out of their mailer thing, that does not work. There's like paid websites where you can pay to stop getting charity spam, like dmachoice.org. That does not work. You could send I every time I get one, I send the business reply mail back to them, so I hopefully waste 50 of their cents, telling them, hey, remove me from their list. That obviously does not work, but at least I'm wasting their money. It's driving me insane, Johnny. I feel like it's hopeless. Like I'm just stuck on these lists forever. I'm going to be getting pictures of kids with giant like tumors on their neck forever.
Well, it's crazy that there's an industry around selling your information because they created charity wheels. It's insane, right?
It is. And like I can understand, like it's probably works on like grandma, like some 80-year-old grandma will get this mail and be like, oh, I could donate another $22 to the Salvation Army or whatever.
No, it works on all empathetic people.
Stop. Do not feel bad about not. Okay, you know what? Next time someone has like a live donation event and they're streaming for charity or whatever, I'm not donating. Like, all right, maybe I will if like I'm positive that they're not like getting my information or whatever. But like, this has made me so disillusioned by charity. Like, it is unbelievable. I get like sometimes 10 letters a day. It is actually insane. And I have tried. This is after I've tried to opt out of all of them.
That's Power. That's a lot. That's
fine.
A lot. Yeah. So I'm not.
Not that like I don't have a lot of mail that's important. It's just insane, dude. It's like it's worse than email spam.
I mean, yeah, they got you, Tower. They just got you. Yeah, you got. This is the world we live in right now, is that everybody wants to sell information, like, because information is king, right? And how do they get all of your info? And like, and they will find any garbage way they can to get your information. So they will prey upon people's better instincts. You're like, oh, what, you want to save people? You want to help people? Well, you're a fucking idiot then. Look what happened to you. It's horrible to be punished for trying to enact the spirit of charity. I hate it.
Yeah, and it all comes back to all the corporations want information, Johnny. So we need to get on Linux. We need to get on Graphene OS. We need to delete all our online accounts, and we need to stop using the internet.
Okay.
All right. So everyone's going to do that with me now? Are we all sick of Windows 11 and their fucking AI bullshit? Let's go.
I'm going to ask you, how are we going to talk?
What do you mean?
Me and you, how are we going to maintain our friendship? Are you going to answer the phone when I call because it's like 50-50?
Well, no, because the U.S. government spies on all phone calls. We all know that. So we're going to have to talk through the Matrix network, or maybe we're going to use that new Proton Meet platform.
Proton Meet sounds awful, by the way.
I mean, I don't know.
Not as a thing. I'm just saying the name Proton Meet. You want some Proton Meet? Not exactly. No, thank you.
All right, Johnny. I have another thing I want to bring up. An actual piece of news, something that actually affects gaming.
Oh no. Who died?
Personal computing is done forever, ? Because of a RAM shortage that will apparently take years to resolve.
Oh. So what does that mean for us? Does that mean all of our RAM is bad? Like all of our lists? Or is the current RAM we have fine?
No, the current RAM you have is golden now. If you have any amount of RAM, if you own a computer, it's like, hot damn, you have a computer, you are like in the top 1% right now. If you haven't paid attention to the news, memory prices of all kinds of RAM, like older DDR4 through the newer DDR5, the current gen memory, it's up 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times for certain SKUs. And it's all because of AI. According to like internet rumor, it's definitely obviously the AI industry, but OpenAI alone is supposed to control 40% of the world's DRAM production capacity. One company owns 40% of production capacity. And so when I say there's no more RAM, so there's two reasons for the price hikes. One, OpenAI is buying all the RAM production capacity. But two, all the other companies are panic buying RAM because OpenAI has bought all the RAM production capacity, which is fueling the problem more. And it's not like, oh, OpenAI is just buying the type of RAM they need for like their AI GPUs, so that's not going to affect me. No, they are buying the literal production capacity of these companies to produce wafers. Like, so the more they spend their time making OpenAI shit, the less they could spend making RAM for your PS5. So we are fucked.
PS6 not incoming?
That's the interesting part. See, like, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot. I've seen a lot on like, well, this is the end of personal computing. Like, people aren't going to be able to build computers anymore. And like, it's crazy. It's maybe the worst time ever to build a personal computer because the RAM prices are that insane right now. But if hardware prices remain this crazy, I mean, I don't know how long they can remain this crazy, but like literally on some modern RAM, it's like 5 times what it was 2 months ago. Like, how are they going to sell? Like, they can't sell a PS6 for $1,500. No one's going to buy that. So does that mean that video games are just kind of stuck where they are? And do companies want video games to be stuck where they are? Because you know what? Making a game like GTA 6 with super good graphics that runs on modern hardware is a hell of a lot harder than just, you know, making something in the current gen again with the technology that they're just perfecting, and we're still stuck on the same specs, you know?
All right, well, that sucks. All the graphic people out there, sorry guys. Yeah. Long live the Switch 2, I guess.
I love that. I looked up the Nintendo Switch 1. I'm like, oh man, video game consoles are dead. I'm like, I bet the Nintendo Switch only has 2 gigabytes of RAM, so it's not going to affect them. And the Switch has like 4 gigabytes of RAM. Piece of garbage console.
I know you love the Switch.
Yeah.
Anything you could do. Yeah. So, all right, Tyler, what's the end result going to be? How long? You said years, but like,
people are saying, like, so timelines? People say like, well, it's definitely not going to be solved anytime soon because the companies that make, there's only like 3 companies in the entire world who make RAM, Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung. And they're increasing capacity, but not much because they don't want to be stuck holding the bag when the AI bubble collapses, which everybody thinks it eventually will. So they don't want to make like, oh, we're going to double our production capacity, and then OpenAI goes out of business. Then all of a sudden, 40% of our production is no longer being bought at all. So they don't want to do that. Yeah. So it's just going to be high prices until the AI bubble collapses, basically. And the worst part about this all is it means more of this memory is going into like these H100 GPUs or whatever. Like, it's not like this is going to end and we're going to have a glut of consumer computer hardware in 5 or 10 years when the bubble bursts. We're going to have a bunch of like old GPUs for AI that no one wants to use anymore because the new hotness will be 100 times better.
I think this is exactly how my sci-fi novel starts, Tyler. The Terminator. So the AI bubble collapses, all of this stuff becomes available. You start picking up the junked technology, you put something together, but you figure out maybe some efficiencies that hadn't been thought of, and then suddenly AI does take over from a localized level. You thought it was going to be a big corporation, but it's really some kid in his basement who figures it out and causes the end of the world as we know it.
All right, maybe it's like the Wasteland where it's like, we don't know how to build the core technology anymore, but we know how to like modify it and use it. And so we still have AI helping us do that. But everyone's forgot how to do everything because now everyone's only been educated and they all cheated their way through high school and college with ChatGPT. So there's no like real hardware engineers anymore. Yeah. And that's what causes society to collapse.
Do you think there's going to be a premium on real degrees now?
What's a real degree?
People who got their degrees before ChatGPT.
I am so this is my like primary hope. This is why I feel I have job security. If I looked at like, you know, a 19, what do people graduate college at? Is it like 19 or is it like 20 something? Either way, if there's like a 21-year-old who just graduated college, I'm looking at them. I'm like, you just chat GPT through all your classes. Like, fuck off.
Tyler, people graduate high school at like 18 and then it's 4 years of college. So
all right. I don't remember school.
This is basic math, Tyler.
It's been a long time. All right. I don't have like a kid to think about grades and stuff like that.
Did you chat GPT your way through basic math? What just happened?
Anyway, Johnny, the
Go on.
world's ending as usual, and you need to be worried about your privacy because the companies are selling all your information, even if it seems like a good thing, like a charity. Charities are actually evil, it turns out.
All right. All charities are going to zero and AI going to zero. And Micron Systems does not want to be caught holding the bag, nor does Samsung, because they know it's going to zero. This podcast should just be titled, It's All Going to Zero. Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's All Going to Zero. I'm Johnny here with Tyler, and we're going to talk about things that are going to zero.
I mean, I don't think RAM's going to zero. I think RAM's going to 1 million right now.
Hey, Tyler, do you mean we have nothing to talk about? That's going to be our joke the whole time on our new podcast.
What are you talking about? We have nothing to talk about because it's zero.
Nothing because zero, because nothing is going to zero because everything is
Chat GPT-esque joke. That's like it's a synonym that's similar enough. So this is definitely a joke that humans would find humorous.
Actually, zero and nothing are not the same thing. Do you want me to tell you about that? I could go on about how zero and nothing and like null is not the same as zero. Should we talk about how annoying nulls are and how nulls are not zero?
Johnny, we're talking about psychology destroying the hobby.
Oh, I thought you were talking about nulls destroying my data and making me angry.
Collectors, they are maybe messed up in the head. We all kind of are. There's all these different psychological effects that influence our behavior in how we collect things. And there is this fascinating book that's on the background of the set of reserved investments. It is called Collectible Investments for the High Net Worth Investor. This is a business textbook.
Why?
You can get it on eBay for about $70. How do I know this? Because I have a copy of Collectible Investments for the High Net Worth Investor.
Could you have brought this up without bringing up reserved investments?
No. Johnny, no one knows what this fucking textbook is, but it's prominently displayed on the background of reserved investment set. People watch him. How many people talk about collectible video games from like a financial perspective online? Reserved investments and Get the Greg games, and that's it? Nobody? I mean, everyone talks about like, oh, I went to Goodwill and I found a stadium event or whatever. Like there's a billion of those channels, but people who kind of like seriously talk about the financial aspect, it's two guys. And Reserved Investments does it part-time. He's usually talking about Pokemon and comic books. Because who the fuck collects video games?
Okay. So, just feels like bringing it up discredits whatever you're about to talk about next.
He's a literal collectible professional, Johnny. His job is to talk about collectibles. You may not like what he has to say. You may think he's a very strange guy.
Hold on. His job, because he made it on YouTube, is to talk about it?
No, he's like a writer and a consultant. He always talks about like, oh, I write for Antiques and Auction News, and I'm a consultant, and I've all these big, powerful people talk to me about their collectibles.
Okay. Just
email me for a 30-minute consulting phone call.
Well, we've seen those prices. He must be a professional.
Johnny, anyway, it's a textbook. And one of the chapters on it is on different psychological effects. And we had an episode on this a while ago, but
we've had a couple. We have psychology episodes, like one a year.
We're allowed to revisit territory because that's what YouTube channels that only talk about one topic do. They go over the same thing again.
Man, if you want to know about Pokemon cards, we could have a whole YouTube channel where we talk about the same 12 cards that have been up or down over the last 3 years.
Dude, you have that Gengar EXRQS final promo, Black Star promo?
That's what?
I don't know.
No, Tyler.
I don't know anything about Pokemon.
Okay, I mean, there is a really good Gengar, but that's not the one we're talking about. You're probably going to be talking about the Bubble Mew or the Charizard from 151. Like, these are the ones that make through the rotations. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Pokemon. We're here to talk about psychology. There's definitely... Pokemon collectors definitely aren't suffering from any of the things we're about to talk about.
Oh, today. Absolutely not. That's pure, like, rational financial investment is what's happening.
This is, collectors in broad swaths we'll talk about. A lot of times they're super reasonable people making a lot of reasonable choices and have not been affected by things. Not true at all. you will feel the pull of these things, whether you realize it or not. Your brain is sometimes your enemy. There are influences everywhere that pull at you, and it is good to be aware of them. Even if you're mad about it, it's good to know that they exist so you can regulate yourself and acknowledge when you are doing something that might be buying into bad behavior.
Johnny, I think we should start. This actually isn't from the textbook. Everything else is from the textbook. But I think the most important effect, I don't know, the hedonic treadmill. It's not really an effect. It's a conjecture, I guess. It is the idea that whether good or bad things happen to you, you return to a stable level of happiness. So if you win the lottery, you're going to feel really good for, it could be days, weeks, months, and eventually you're just going to return to your regular level of happiness. Even if you don't like screw everything up like everyone who wins the lottery does. If you just like start living in a mansion and you don't have to work anymore, your level of happiness will eventually be about the same as where it was now. If you lose your job and your house gets foreclosed on and everything's going bad for you, it's going to be terrible for a while, and eventually you will return to a baseline level of happiness because that's just how humans work.
I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I understand.
What do you mean you don't agree with this? All right. Fight against this. I thought you wanted to talk about this.
No, I do. Well, I think in general, look, I think in broad statements, I think this is mostly true, but I don't know if people always return to a baseline. Not, again, we're talking in general. It's not all people, but I don't want to like sit here and find corner case arguments to, try and set it apart. That's not really valuable.
Okay, so what are your thoughts then on the hedonic treadmill?
I think some people ride higher and lower. And I don't know if there are factors outside of people that are driving what their base level of happiness is. So I think a base level of happiness can go up or down depending on emotional and social factors that are pressuring them. So I think everyone has a baseline while going through things, but that baseline can be adjusted up or down.
I mean, I'm not saying the baseline can't be adjusted up or down.
I'm talking through it so we know. So people, you say, like, I got a stadium events. Like, if something in your life didn't actually improve, your baseline isn't going to move. And I think that's kind of the point of these little dopamine rushes, right? That's where we're going with this.
I mean, the point is that you get desensitized to anything, good or bad. It doesn't matter if your life permanently improves. If you move from, I don't know, I can't think of anything that's not a ridiculous example. If you move into a mansion tomorrow, you move into the Home Alone mansion, you will eventually get desensitized to this. It will just become your new normal. That's the idea of the hedonic treadmill. And it'll no longer be like, oh, my life went from, I was like a 7 out of 10 already, and now it's just like 10 out of 10 every day. No, you're going to be like 7 out of 10 again, or like maybe like a 7.5 out of 10 because you got a cool mansion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think your baseline can raise, but yeah, in general, yes, people, it's hard for people, especially with one singular item or couple of items, to feel like their life has gone better or find fulfillment from them.
So how this relates to collecting video games is when you were at the flea markets in 2003, running around buying loose NES cartridges, you were getting the same dopamine rush for finding a copy of Section Z for 50 cents that you get now when you're you're looking for the Mint CIB Snow Bros on NES, and you're looking to pay $2,500 for that, and it's almost the same thing, and you kind of just ruined yourself by escalating how much you're paying for games. And
the chase was never really about the thing. It's too much dopamine. It doesn't matter. You kept moving on. If you keep going up the ladder, you are just, when you look down, you are higher up. And it takes more. You will fall longer. Or if you have to climb back up, it's going to take longer to get there. So if you felt really good about finding a deal on Section Z back in 2004 when you first started collecting, and now since you have all those and your life has just progressed, you've kept climbing up the ladder. Now you aren't going to feel more happy because you spent $2,500 compared to that dollar you spent in 20. There is no difference. The same thing has been achieved to you, except it just cost you more of your money. But that's that you've been raising the standard slowly. You're a boiled frog.
Yeah, you got desensitized to buying the cartridges, then you started buying complete box. You eventually got desensitized to that. You felt really good about, you're tracking your video games. You hit 500, and it was like, hot damn, 500 video games. I have so many video games. And eventually now it's just like, you are just
10,000,
like completely normal living your life with 2,000 video games. You're just like, yeah, this is just how people collect, right? I have 2,000 video games.
Yeah, this is totally normal. If you want to feel not normal about that, walk somebody into your collection that does not collect things and then have them look at you like you should be studied in a lab.
You're a frog that's been boiling for 20 years, Johnny.
Yeah, yes. Does everybody understand the boiled frog analogy? Is that like is that still common? Do people still use that?
I think some people have pushed back on it because it's not actually true, but the idea
it
is that
doesn't matter if it's true. It's just an
know.
analogy at this point. Yeah.
The idea is that if you put a frog into boiling water, it will jump out. But if you slowly increase the temperature over time, it will stay there and you can cook the frog.
Yes.
Which is not actually how frogs work. They will just jump out when the temperature gets hot enough. But
the same thing. If you were in a spa and the temperature keeps going up and you're like, damn, it's getting too hot in here, you get out.
Sure.
Yeah. Same thing with a fucking frog. Turns out our biology isn't different enough to like your neurons are just like, this is getting uncomfortable. I'm going to get out now. But yes, it's just decent. It's an analogy for being desensitized. We're cooked, chat, like a boiled frog.
Damn. Oh man, we're bringing it all back to Gen Alpha slang. I love it.
Yeah. Did it? Okay.
So Johnny, I was at a point, probably 2020 was the worst of my collecting. I was getting like 3 packages in the mail a day. And I consciously stopped a while ago. And I haven't, like, my satisfaction in my collection has not changed. I just decided at some point, like, I'm pretty happy where my collection is at. And it's not like I don't have the same, like, addictive dopamine cycles that I used to, but, like, I've just been used to the idea that I'm not completely done, but I've been used to the idea of being done.
Okay.
That's kind of nice. I was getting used to getting tons of packages in the mail all the time. And now I'm getting used to the fact that I don't get that many new games all the time. And it still feels good to have a lot of games, Johnny, to just be happy with what I got. So, I think maybe there's a lesson in that like, if you can get used to the addiction of like the dopamine cycles of just like buying new stuff all the time, you could also get used to stopping that and still being happy.
Yeah. Yeah. The same way that you build up slowly, you have to retract slowly. And then over time you will notice that you stop noticing.
There is actually, we're probably going to talk about this on another episode or an After Dark or something, but there's a recent episode of Cheat Code Weekly, which is on the Get the Greg Games YouTube channel. And even if you're not interested in sealed or graded games, it is the most pessimistic take I've ever heard from any collectors on the actual inside of like the sealed game community about the state of the market. Because like you'll see, like the Carl Jobst people and like the regular retro game channels who are like, oh, what a scam. But this is Greg and Henry sitting down for, like a half hour and just they're talking about like the recent signature auction where like, people thought things were going to go for $350,000 and it went for like $180,000. It was just like, some big disaster. And that like Henry is like talking about video games like it's over, man. And he's saying things like collectors have everything they want. And I'm wondering, like, am I part of that? Because I feel like I've been collecting a long time and I kind of feel like I have everything I want. And he's saying people don't want to buy duplicates of games they have and people aren't that interested in upgrading what they have. And this isn't related to the hedonic treadmill. I just think it's kind of interesting just because I haven't stopped collecting, but I have slowed down a lot. And everything he's saying is how I feel. Like, yeah, I do have kind of everything I want. I don't need to, if I bought a game for $100 10 years ago, I don't need to buy the upgrade that's on like Heritage Auctions graded for $1,500 now. I'm happy with the game that I already have. And so are people like me killing the video game hobby, Johnny, is what I'm asking.
You getting off the hedonic treadmill is messing things up. Thanks.
I'm screwing this. So guys, if we want to defeat WADA, now PSA, stop buying the video games. Let the market crash.
I mean, bringing it back into the idea of the hedonic treadmill, it's, completion, like, finishing, you're never finished, right? Like whatever you think you've done, it's never done. This is the problem with collectors. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate if you like really want to dig into it. If you felt like, okay, I did it. And we've talked about this before. You're like, I did it. I completed my set. I did it, whatever I can do. And then suddenly your idiot brain just figures out the next thing to do. It asks the question, what now? And if the answer isn't fucking stop and be happy with the things I have and what I've done, then you've reactivated the treadmill. And you're like, all right, time to do another lap, I guess. And your brain is really good at figuring out procedurally the next thing you should be doing.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I did that for a very long time. I would just, I finished my Sega CD set. It's like, well, I got to finish Sega Saturn now. That only makes sense. I got to finish Sega Genesis now. And I know that there are guys who never stop that. I think Final Fight CD is always in our Discord, and he's always like, no, man, collecting sets is the thing. Like, you always just move on to the next set. You're that way. I think you gave up on did you give up on the Wii and Vita set? What are the state of the Wii and Vita set, Johnny?
The Wii set is complete. The Vita set is mostly complete. I have some deals in place. I have to go pick up some games from some people, and there's like longstanding from like VG Collectaholic. He's got like one of the 2 games I still need. So, and then there's like the VVVs and 10,000 spikes or whatever, these stupid games. It's like, what do you even do with these? And one day they might be released. So it's like, I keep my eye out for them. So that set is mostly done. Xbox, like, again, I feel like every time I feel like I've given up on the Xbox set and GBA, like a couple times a year, I'm just like, I'm going to take a little stab at it. Just chip away slowly at this thing over time until it's done. Like, I've always preached just being opportunistic. Like, I don't buy into all the hype and everything. I just am going to do what I'm going to do. So Xbox got a little hot. I didn't care. Josh Byerly got a bunch of games, Xbox games. So as we talked about on the show, it's like, oh, I'll buy a couple of these. Like, I will chip away at the last like 80 or so games I need. I think I'm down to like 40 or 50 games I still need for that set. So just slowly but surely. My mindset is not really on complete sets though. Those, because they're so close, like I think about completing them, but also if anybody came and offered me any reasonable amount of money for those games, I wouldn't bat an eye about selling them. I would be like, oh yeah, sure. No problem. Take them.
Which is kind of crazy considering how serious of a collector you are. But like, that is not a theoretical thing. Stefan came to you and he's like, Johnny, I want your Genesis set. And you sold him your Genesis set, a very complete and amazing Genesis set
that I did a lot of work and research on. Yeah.
And you just sold it. I would never do that. And I'm sure there's some psychological concept we're going to talk about that is why I would never do that. But like, you sold him like your Harpy personal trainer complete in box, right? That was part of the set?
Nope.
You didn't?
That was not part of it because he already had one. Okay. So, yeah.
Henry from the Cheat Code Weekly, he's
one,
a Harpy personal trainer too. That's some real old collector shit, man. I love that.
Yeah, old man shit right there. Yeah, no, I've said people don't ever believe me, but if the right amount of money walked through the door, I would sell any of this. It is stuff. I like my stuff, but it is just stuff to me. I like to collect. I enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with, and I hate using the word, the community, but I like the guys on our Discord. I like talking about collecting. Obviously, But this podcast is 10 years old, Tyler. Did you know that? I enjoy talking about video games, and we do it for 3 hours every 2 weeks or whatever, or 2 hours, 2-3 hours. And yeah, I like it. I like collecting about games. I like learning about games. My focus is a lot on all of my dumb Halloween stuff right now, the idea of my Halloween games. And I've really enjoyed the process of dialing in what that means, what this list looks like, trying to figure it out, looking into computers, because the world is so open and it's collecting in such an insane way. That the whole process is learning, because you have to go out, because there are no guardrails. No one has said here's the stuff. You get a video by 40 influencers every year that are the 10 best games to play at Halloween. And it's who gives a shit? Because we know what fucking Castlevania is. Geez, thanks. And then they're these hidden gems. Great. I'm all of these search and find, these fucking hidden eye games. How many of them are there? Oh, wow. This is quite a knot to untangle, especially the way they're published, and you'll get multiple games on multiple, just trying to understand games and how they could be categorized and how you could lump them all together. You know me, I love assembling things. It's always just how can I stack it all together, make it work? And that's been my main focus. It has not really been about sets for me. I mean, you could call it the Halloween set, but it's so nebulous. It would be hard to even say that.
I mean, you've collected so many sets, and now you've just set yourself on a set you can never complete, and now it's just now I could do this forever. I see what you did to yourself. You kind of tricked yourself into collecting forever now.
But about one specific thing, Tyler, we've talked about having a focused collection that people can look at and be oh, you're the guy who does this thing, and you'll enjoy it better if it's something you're passionate about. I'm passionate about games and Halloween.
I mean, I always say that. When people look at your collection, they're going to, if they're just scanning over some photos of your collection, what they're going to look for is the things that aren't in other people's collection. So if you have, 1,000 PS2 games and 1,000 Xbox games, I don't think there are 1,000 Xbox games, but, all that, just a wall of all this stuff, they're going to be all right, that's great. Everybody has tons of DVD games. Everybody has tons of games like that. And they're going to look at, whoa, is that the 9-button Sega Smash controller that's only used with 2 unlicensed Realtek games? Damn. I'm sorry I'm bringing up the most obscure Sega Genesis stuff this episode for some reason, but that is an example of something that essentially nobody has that. So it is cool. Those are the kinds of things I look for in people's collection.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, Tyler, that I have never done this for anyone else but me. I only have ever collected for myself. I come out and do what I enjoy. This is, it's never to please anybody else.
You're telling me you're not collecting expensive big box PC horror games that are super niche that nobody's ever heard of for investment purposes?
No. Did you know that I bought Creepy Castle? This a spoiler, but yeah, I bought Creepy Castle, a Mac game, a Mac exclusive, and I didn't buy it for the value that I think I'm going to get out of it, nor because it was on anyone's list. I was who's ever heard of this game? That's cool. Let me learn about this thing. Oh yeah, I think I would like that in my collection. Let me write it down and put it in my spreadsheet. This feels good.
I feel like I know about, we're getting a little off topic, but Johnny, I feel like I know a lot about video games, but you constantly buy games old computer games freaking Creepy Castle, Macintosh exclusive, and you're just Tyler, have you ever heard of this one? And you just constantly make me feel damn, I know nothing about video games. I thought I knew things about old video games, but Johnny comes in with the most bullshit video games that nobody's ever heard of.
1991, baby. Whew.
It's like a Dark Castle ripoff. Maybe it's not, but it looks very similar to Dark Castle.
It looks cool. It's really cool. And those Mac games, I didn't realize their form factor was basically a VHS. So they come, it looks like a Super Famicom game.
Cool. Are you going to put it in a Mac?
No, I'm never going to put it in anything except this box protector that also works on Super Famicom games.
Johnny, you got anything else to say about the hedonic treadmill?
Get off it or you're doomed.
You are. There actually is a related idea. I'm just taking this off the Wikipedia page, but I love the idea of it. It's called abundance denial. And it's the idea that people construct rationales for considering themselves deprived, even though they have a ton of stuff. And this is the reason that, like, you'll see whether people consider themselves in the middle class, and people in like the top 10% of the United States of America, like the richest country in the world, people in the top 10% of the richest country in the world will be like, oh yeah, I'm middle class. Because no matter what, people will see someone with more stuff than them and be like, well, if they have more stuff than me, then I'm not doing as good as I could be.
Yeah.
And this is a bullshit concept. You cannot think like this, right?
Yeah. It goes back to that, like that old idea that, like, quote, you never look at someone else's plate to see how full it is, see, like, and if you do, you should only be checking to make sure that they have enough.
And if they don't have enough, you don't give to fucking charity.
No, you're supposed to hand them so they also have
you give them some of your games. You're like, you know what? I got some Super Nintendo duplicates that you can have.
I mean, I used to do that. I used to do a thing when I had the blog. I used to do like a charity giveaway. I mean, it was just my own. It was not like a licensed charity. I was just like, send me your sad story. And then it was too sad to read everybody's sad story.
Oh my God.
I was like, this is so depressing. It was so depressing. And
who reads your blog?
The people who sometimes listen to the show. We have some people who listen to the show that used to read the Game Over Johnny blog.
That's crazy. That's some vintage Collector's Quest. That's before Collector's Quest. When Collector's Quest was a blog. It was just Johnny's blog with like early 2010s video game collecting analysis. Oh, it's such a good snapshot. I think it's probably one of the better snapshots into the hobby, that exist for that time period.
Oh, thank you.
It's
cool. It's rare that I get compliments from Tyler, and I'm blushing.
I mean, what are we gonna say? I mean, we got like I've got the popular YouTube guys. We got Pat the NES Punk and Angry Video Game Nerd. Are those great snapshots into the video game collecting hobby? I don't think so. We got the Nintendo Age archive. That's really hard to parse. You have to read through like old forum threads and try to figure out what was going on. But you just have some nice, concise articles.
Thanks. All right. You can see the origin of some of the Halloween articles too. They are that old.
Oh man. Johnny, I have a blog that no one reads. Let me tell you about that.
I know you do.
I sent a blog post to Tom Nook on the Discord. I think he might be the first person who's ever read one of my blog posts because I just write them for myself.
I did not know you were writing. I was like, fucker has a blog? All right, cool. Yeah. Sign up. Favorited your website.
You could favorite it. It's got a sitemap. Doesn't have an RSS feed. I like simplicity, Johnny. Sorry.
All right.
Historia.vg if you guys want to read my amazing articles.
You should read what Tyler writes. I would advise it. We have dithered, though. We should get into
the next psychological concept that is destroying the hobby, Johnny, is obviously the sunk cost fallacy.
Oh, this one's so easy to talk about. Yeah.
Which is the inclination to ignore and even add to previous mistakes rather than accept them and rationally alter direction, which means you're riding your losses all the way to zero. Video games are going to zero, but you're going to keep buying them because they keep becoming better deals.
Yeah. Keep defending those bad purchases. Also, this is extremely bad for people who do research or want to learn about things, because you start to equate your time into the value equation. You're like, well, I've spent so much time on this. A more relatable idea. You go up to a vendor at a convention and you're sitting there and you've like been looking through their pile of garbage, and now you've been there 30 minutes and you get the idea that, oh, well, I have to get a deal. And you're like haggling and they're not moving. And you're like, but I've been here for 30 minutes. If I don't buy something, I've wasted my time.
I've definitely felt that.
Oh.
But I also don't haggle. But I get that kind of pressure, sure.
So that is sunk cost, guys. It's sunk costs can easily be summed up as being said to cut your losses and go. Just cut your losses. And people have a really hard time with that, because that's admitting something. That's admitted that you wasted time, that you wasted money, that you wasted effort, that you wasted resources, that you dedicated too much to a thing that you didn't need to or that didn't work out. And it's
And,
okay to fail, and it's okay to do those things. Doubling down on mistakes is the worst possible outcome.
So the obvious analogy would be things like, stocks or investing, investing great in video games and they go down in value. But I actually like your convention example because it's so much more relatable. So you're going to Midwest Gaming Classic. You spent $300 on a flight. You spent, $600 on 3 nights of a hotel. And then you get there and everything is 10% above eBay prices and you don't really find anything. But you're probably going to buy something anyway because in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I spent, $800 to be here. I can't walk out of here with no video games, even though it's not the rational thing to do to buy overpriced video games just to fill your suitcase up for the ride home.
No, the correct thing was it was the friends you made along the way.
Absolutely.
Right?
But there is zero chance I'm going to a video game convention and I'm walking away with no video games because I know how much money I spent just to be there. And you know what? I find good stuff at Midwest Gaming Classic. But like, if I didn't find good stuff, I would force myself to buy things anyway, because that's how this works.
Would you?
Absolutely. I would just be like, I budgeted like $1,000 for this weekend. I didn't find anything good, but I mean, this copy of Command and Conquer on N64, it's like, okay. I would buy the Command and Conquer on N64. Just have something to show for it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel that way. At all.
Interesting.
Like I've already made the decision.
Well, you are so much more about like, I'm not going there to buy games. I'm just going there to hang out with everybody. Fuck you. I'm also going there to buy games. I love all you guys, but I want to be finding the deals.
Well, look, here's the thing that happens though. When I get on the floor, I go into convention mode, and I don't love it, but I do. It takes a lot to pry it out of me. You've seen me go into the mode where I'm like digging through boxes, trying to figure things out. I don't love that feeling. But once I'm there, I'm like trying to do it. But also I'm a person that when I've decided to do something, I've just decided to do it. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to go 100%. So if I'm there, I'm going to try to buy something, but I'm not going to make myself buy something. I won't justify, again, I don't like to double down on my losses. And I feel like I'm okay at admitting when I've been wrong or I've made a mistake.
I guess
I'm okay. I'm not great, but like, I would say okay. It's hard to rank yourself on these things because I can feel other people being like, I've talked on, definitely not. But I feel like I'm okay at it.
I mean, the only way around this, I guess, is to rationally consider every decision as like an independent event from the past. But like the idea is that like, well, people don't actually do that in practice.
No, everything that has ever happened to you is weighing on you. So it's an interesting thing that a lot of people, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't like to say normal childhoods or normal lives. It's just, you are just a collection of all the things that have happened to you. And some people are more aware of what has happened to them or didn't happen to them. And that and how much it drives their decision making. And some people, people aren't aware of it. And I think the more aware of those things you are, it's easier to not be a victim of them. Not that people are victims, but you just won't get suckered into a bad decision because you were unaware of. You're like, well, I have to do this thing because this is the way I feel. And like, no, it's fine. You can let all that stuff go. Just make a decision. Be like, I don't have to be that way today. I don't have to be that way today. That's forgiving. I just want to say it like a baseline. I can hear people being like, well, I'm not neurotypical and I have all this other stuff. It's like, yeah, yes, of course. This is, people with, we'll call baseline normality. I don't know exactly how to phrase that, but like, again, if you have other conditions, that's not going to be exactly the same for you. If you suffer from depression, I'm not over here just saying, well, just think happy thoughts and you'll be fine. That's not what's happening. I just wanted to make that clear.
You should accept any actual losses. And I realize losses in video game collecting is largely like something goes up or down in price. Not that you're actually selling. It's just like already in your collection and it's like a paper loss or a paper gain. But you should accept them as learning opportunities and consider any bad decision that you've made an investment in your education, Johnny. If you spent $20,000 on the copy of Poke Park Wii, a second print Poke Park Wii on Heritage Auctions, one of the worst video game sales of all time. You should not see that goes down to $8,000 and then double down and be like, well, I need to dollar cost average in here. No, you should see, well, should I spend $8,000 on a copy of Poke Park Wii? The answer is still no. And you should learn from your original experience rather than doubling down on a bad one.
Yeah. So I like this next theory that because it is the twin
Uh-huh.
of this one, the house money effect.
So the next one is gambling with house money and or paper gains, which,
Yes.
I mean, we're not really gambling here, but we do have a lot of paper gains. If you have been in the game collecting hobby before 2021, you have some paper gains that you feel like you have more money to play with because the stuff sitting in your closet is worth a lot more money than you paid for it.
Yeah. So it's also, you bought something and it immediately went up. So you're like, oh, I can now justify this. So just like with sunk cost, right? It's just you like, well, I can't get away from this because I've got too much money into it. And now you're like, I can get away with it because I've got free money over here. These are crazy ideas, by the way. Just like,
it's not a crazy idea if you had the ability to click a button and sell your thing and it just instantly turned into money, but that's not how physical objects work.
No. And everyone, like, people are real gross about this. They overestimate. Look at any dealer who made a purchase. They're like, you know how much I can flip this for? Blah, blah, blah. You hear people every convention talking about, oh, you know what I can flip this for? Oh, I bought it, but I could flip it for X. It's like, well, are you gonna? Because if you aren't, then what are you doing? But do you know how much this is worth? Did this object, did it improve your collection? Did you want it in your collection? Are you only buying it because you value the idea that it can make you money? And that's fine. It's okay to be an investor and it's okay to go and find things and make money on them. I'm not the guy who's like, you're not allowed to make money off your hobby. I have never been that guy. Please make money. I've never been the guy who would be like, you can't resell. You can. Please do. I'm not mad at you people. I am mad at the idea that you bought something and you got it for $20, but you know it's worth $50. So you're like, oh, it's such a good deal. I've got all this money now. If you're not selling it though, who cares? Just because you can get a $50 game for $20 doesn't mean you should.
I mean, it maybe means
but
you should, but if you're going to,
sometimes
you got to sell it for you to actually realize those gains. And the idea isn't just that, your stuff is worth more and you're buying more or whatever. It's the idea that, all right, you say you bought that game and you bought it for 20, sold it for 50, you made $30. Now with those $30, you go and you buy something dumb that you normally wouldn't buy because it feels like those $30 are free. That doesn't feel like $30 that you had to work at your job and earn. These were a free $30 you got because you found a great deal of Goodwill or whatever.
Yes. I find this with people who collect cards are the worst about this because they open a card and it's immediately worth value. And they're like, oh, I can just sell it. And they do because there is an outlet usually for them to sell it. So, but here's what happens in card collecting. So you're like, oh, I open this card and it's $50. I bought it out of a $4 pack. I have all this free money now. I sold it. The shop gave me $30 for it. Even though it's worth $50, they gave me $30, but I have this free money. And then they go buy like 5 more packs and then there's nothing in there.
And like go buy 5 more packs that they wouldn't have bought if it was just their regular money. They were only there to buy a couple packs today. Yeah.
No, instead of just being up $30 and feeling good about it, they went and then just wasted. And again, this happens in a collection. It's this perception of value where value doesn't really exist, or having some value, making some money, and then dumping it back into the wrong investment. I love house money effect. It's kind of a multi-headed beast how people evaluate house money. You're like, oh, well, I got this $50 for my birthday, so I could guess I could go buy that, but you still didn't pay your bills. Like there are people I know who have done this, and maybe even myself when I was younger. You're just like, oh, well, I can't afford this thing right now, but somebody gave me this money. for my birthday. So yeah, I can go buy this game. And you're like, bro, you got bills that you should be paying. You're like, well, but this is free money. This isn't real money. You're just like, okay,
Johnny, all money is real money.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you how people act, and I'm trying to give people examples of shit I know they've done. So try not to look. And as we talk about these things, I know some of it is depressing, and I know some of you are going to be like, oh, I do this all the time, or I've done this before. Don't beat yourself up too bad for being a human being. Okay. Just
oh yeah. No, we all do this.
It happens. It happens to all of us. I have done everything on this list. Okay. Like at least maybe when I was younger or maybe more recently, but and I haven't even read all of them yet, but I think I've read all of them, but like, I know we've all fallen into these fucking traps. Just cut yourself a break and just always trying to be doing better the next time. This is why we educate you. This is why we talk about it. So we know to not do it next time.
Johnny, in the very most literal sense of the gambling with house money, the first time I was ever in Vegas, I won $2,000 on a slot machine, and I immediately took that and I dumped $300 into the slot machine next to it, and of course lost it all. And I am not the person who would walk up to a slot machine and just like blow $300. I was like 22 at the time or something.
Yeah.
So that's it felt like fake money, but that was real money, and I could have had that $300 now, and I could have bought a nice big box PC game with that.
Could have.
Johnny, the next one.
Free game.
Next one we want to go over. The endowment effect, which is the unwillingness to sell something in possession at a price higher than it would be offered by the same person to buy it, were it not already owned. So if you already have something, say, what is a game that I absolutely love? I'm going to say my copy of Ninja Gaiden 3. I would never sell my copy of Ninja Gaiden 3. It's just my copy. I found it. It's a nice condition copy. It's one of my favorite games of all time. If somebody offered me $800 for that, and I don't know what Ninja Gaiden 3 is worth. Well, it's worth a few $100s. It's probably not worth $800. If someone offered me $800 for it, I would say no, because I don't want to deal with finding another copy of Ninja Gaiden 3. Because I already have it.
That's more,
and it's nice.
That's more the money isn't worth it to you because you don't care. You don't value that exactly. So a lot of this is when people need to sell something or they're dealers. You see this. Again, I hate to keep going back to cards, but I used to see this in cards, like Magic, all the time. Like when they want to trade, they want to trade at top value for their stuff. Like, this is like, oh no, this is like, you don't understand. This one is so good. I don't know. But your thing is only worth, like, they'll never value your thing at the top of market, but their thing will always be at the top of market. Because they don't really want to give it up. Right. So if you have something special to you and it's just special to you, like, you just make these unreasonable ideas that your thing has more value because it's yours. And that is not true. Your thing has the value that it has because the market has decided the price.
Your thing has the market value. It always has the market value. There's no special emotional attachment that the market puts on that thing just because you love SimCity 2000 on Big Box PC, the Big Box PC version.
It is exactly why I hate pedigrees, Tyler. And I spoke about this when they announced pedigrees, because it was this person's, now it's special. No, it wasn't. It's just a game.
Ooh, I don't
agree. It's just a game. If I could not tell it from another one, if you could replace it with another one in my collection and I could not tell, it does not fucking matter.
I think
you are buying an idea.
Of a thing matters a lot.
You are buying. I'm not saying the origin of a thing doesn't matter, but I'm saying you being like, well, this was $10,000 more. If the thing is already readily available, like, again, it would have to be very special. I'm talking about them being like, oh, well, this was Dane's game, so this one's special. Who the fuck is Dane? The guy who made Nintendo?
Okay, look, but your idea isn't that the pedigree is stupid. If it was Theodore Roosevelt's copy of Section Z for the NES, that would still be cooler than Dane's copy, right?
That it would be cooler, but again, that you are buying the idea of it, but the game itself isn't any more special. It is just the game. It's a mass-produced item. Unless Teddy Roosevelt did something special with it, it doesn't really matter to me.
All right, so it doesn't matter to you. I don't even think this counts as the endowment effect because I would put value on that. That's not endowment effect. I don't own Teddy Roosevelt's copy of Section Z, but if that was in the market, I would value that higher than a regular copy of Section
that
Z.
is... People have taken that idea, they've taken the idea of the endowment effect, and they've applied it to use the psychology against people and said, okay, well, it's this guy, so now it is important. And sometimes it is. Sometimes, like, if you were the guy who originated something, if it was Miyamoto's copy of fucking Zelda, you're like, well, hold on. But like for random people who doesn't really have anything to do with it, like they would have to be really involved in something special in some special way. But if that was true, why would it be like a mass produced item? Most time with games, that's not it. So I'm talking, again, I'm talking very specific to games and adding pedigrees to games collections. Oh, this is the Ohio collection. Who gives a shit? Well, you don't understand. This one was found in a warehouse and no one had touched it for 10 years. So now it's extra special. No, it isn't. It's just a fucking game. It's just a game that was in a fucking box like the rest of them. Who gives a shit? All of these games came from somebody's fucking attic at one point. I don't care. Just stop trying to make shit special that's not special. This is just pumping. I don't love it. Right?
I mean, sure.
Like... pedigrees, especially weak pedigrees, people should be more engaged in the idea of if a pedigree fucking matters. Like, again, the right pedigree might matter. It does in some things, dog breeding, other things like, this is the idea. The origin of this thing gives it some value. Oh, okay. But like random dude who collected games in 1992 and owned a video game store and put them in his basement and never touched them. That is very special to me. Now, this one came from them, so this one's a good one. No.
Johnny,
Nope.
I think pedigrees fucking aside, you're spiraling on pedigrees. I think
yes.
You need to limit the emotional attachment to every last object in your collection. And if you have 20 Sega Master System games and you don't care about Sega Master System at all, which is the correct opinion, you should be willing to sell those to go get something that you actually want. And
Tyler, do you want to come by anything in my office? Come let me know.
I could use, I think I'm missing Spider-Man on the Master System, and
you got it. Sure.
I think I need
no,
Strider too. Could you just give me?
I probably wouldn't sell them because I would want to get rid of them as a whole object, and that just comes to be like, oh god, moving the chaff would be so much harder.
So Johnny,
but not because they're special.
The people who are really good at avoiding the endowment effect are resellers and shops because they have no emotional attachment to any of their stock, which is why they're so good at making deals and moving stuff. Because if the market moves on an item and it's down 15%, they still need to sell it. And they're going to sell it. They're not going to be like, oh, but this is my copy of Hagane on the Super Nintendo. No, they've got 4 copies. They don't care about any of them. They're just there to make money from them. And I'm not saying that like, oh, your only idea should be to make money from them. But I don't think you could have an emotional attachment when you're looking at something that you do want to sell.
When you are selling something, I acknowledge that sometimes it is hard to sell things and get rid of things, and it might be circumstance that's driven you to that point, and that can make it even harder. But the market is the market. Yours isn't more special than anyone else's. Condition and completeness dictate what the price is. Evaluate that as fairly as you can. Get what you can for it. I'm not against people trying to get what they can for a thing, but if you can't be realistic, don't be the guy sitting there with stuff in your booth being like, I can't believe none of this sold. It's like, well, did you price it in a way that it would sell, or were you crazy? There used to be this local show that would happen. It might still even happen. I don't know. I don't go to these things anymore. I used to go like every month. I would go like, and there would be this thing, and it was at like a horse betting place.
Hell yeah.
And it was It was exactly what you would think. Every stereotype was there at the horse betting place, but for some reason, out on like the dog track or whatever outside, they would let us set up tables and people would vend and you'd like walk around. And there was always some vendors who could not, they like, it was their stuff and like, they needed to like sell stuff. They like flip games to maintain their collection and they were sometimes selling stuff they didn't really want to sell. And you would see the price would always be above market. And, you would look 2 weeks later, or 2 months later, it would still be there. 3 months later, literally, I would mark this one guy in his game and I would be like, all right, House of the Dead is still there. Let's come back next month. Okay, it's still there. And I did that for a year, Tyler, to see if it was there. And it was always still there. And then I saw him at Portland like 2 years later, and he still had the same copy of that fucking game with the same scratch on the spine. And I was just like, yep, there it is, still there. Because that guy always had it above market because he never really wanted to sell it. But he put it in his thing like, oh yeah, I would sell it. Yeah, no, I need to sell this. So don't trick yourself. It's not worth it. Be reasonable.
Or alternatively, you could keep everything forever and die with your stuff and make your family deal with it. And it's not your problem anymore. Is their problem.
Or do that. Again, if you don't want to sell things, then just don't sell things. If you're forced to sell things, then go sell them.
You know what?
I
get
treat it like your job.
Effect. Bring back 99-cent auctions. What are we doing with these fucking auctions? Put everything up for 99 cents, and whatever the market decides it's worth, it sells for. I'm tired of these, like, oh, I've got a really nice copy of Donkey Kong Country. I'm going to put it up for, I don't know, $799 and just see what happens. Like, fuck, just let the market decide what that's worth. Stop these ridiculous auction listings.
People are cowards, Tyler, and they are afraid because I don't know if you've noticed, and it doesn't happen with every auction, but quite a few auctions close a lot lower, that, like, especially if there's multiples for sale. If they put it at 99 cents, it's going probably lower than all those buy it nows, unless 100% it's super nice.
It is, because it's selling for the real market value. So we could talk about this. I think this is another episode or an After Dark auction strategy and the different types of auctions, because I think that would be a Dutch auction if you set a super high price and then slowly lower it until someone's willing to pay the price, as opposed to whatever we got, like some kind of English auction where it's the eBay system basically.
Yeah.
The eBay system's so good though. I love it. Fuck Dutch auctions. That's too stressful for me.
Too long. Tyler, we should move on to the next one.
Johnny, the next psychological effect is the break-even effect, which it's the disposition to bet on long shots where success would mean full loss recovery and failure would only cause immaterial added loss, and the willingness to bet larger and larger sums, attempting to recover all previous losses. And what that means is if you've already lost $1,000 on anything, you want to gamble another $1,000, because if you win that, then you'll be back to even. And if you lose another $1,000, well, you know what? I could just bet $2,000 next time and keep doing that. In casino slang, this would be called get even or get even worse. And this is something that apparently people like to do.
This doesn't have to do with the, like, anything with the, like, I need to get back what I spent on it, right? Like, this is the general idea.
You have you've already lost. So you've bought a copy of Tecmo Bowl for $120,000 or something, and now it's worth $10,000. And so you decide, so you need to make back that $100,000. So
yeah, I need to get back what I spent on it.
The best investment in the market might be, I don't know what to invest in. A PSA 10 bubble mute, whatever people are into, whatever. That's probably a terrible investment right now.
But, they just went down, so no.
But you can't be investing in things that might go up, like 5-10% a year. Like the S&P 500, let's say that the 10% a year, that would be a good thing to invest in. But no, you just went down $100,000 by buying this copy of Tecmo Bowl. So what you need to do is buy a $40,000 copy of Fortnite on the Xbox One and hope that somehow, some way, that becomes a $100,000 video game. So it's the tendency of people to make huge gambles because they've lost a lot of money. And I guess this probably really only applies to people who have bought like graded games in 2021, 2022, because we really haven't had huge corrections in the market unless you were really overpaying for like sealed video games. Because I don't know if any CIB games I bought have like ever gone down in value. I think I found one and it was like curious that it went down in value. Radiant Silvergun, very famously, like 20 years flat or down. Crazy that game has gone nowhere. But like of all games I own, Radiant Silvergun, one of the only games that has gone down in value over 15, 20 years.
It feels like it's very closely related to like sunk cost as well. Just, like just ignoring when demand has collapsed, or, when it's time to buy out of an item, you just keep chasing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is probably one of the least applicable ones to video game collectors. Maybe what is like a swingier market, like in Pokemon, this might affect people more to start gambling more to try to win back their losses. It just comes back to like, you can't focus on your previous bad collecting decisions and let that drive what your future decisions are going to be. You kind of have to treat everything as if you're back at square one.
So I will say, here's where I see this happen. It's when people buy lots of video games. They're like, I'm going to buy this lot of video games because I want these 2 games out of this lot. But now I need to get back what I spent on it. I got to break even on this. And sometimes they're like, well, I didn't do great on that one. But if I get this lot, then maybe this lot even pays for both lots.
But the idea, it has to be a riskier and riskier investment. Like, you are making worse decisions because you're getting deeper and deeper into debt, or it pays off and then you're back at zero and you start the cycle over again.
Yeah, the first one doesn't pay off, right? Because you bought it to pay off these 2 games, but you couldn't sell it for what you want. So now you're in debt. You're at a negative value. And then you're like, well, if I buy this even bigger lot, maybe next time if this one works out, then it pays for both. I've seen people do that. And then that one does not pay for either of them. So the hole gets bigger.
Or
as they try to recover.
Or gambling pays off and we do it.
Here's the thing. I'll say this. 99% of gamblers quit before they win.
It's and 100% of the time, if you gamble, eventually you will win. It is a statistical fact that if you gamble, you will eventually win. So why would you ever stop gambling?
Yeah, it's, I'm tired of these quitters. They're just out there just giving up. Again, 99% of quitters, or 99% of gamblers quit before they win big. You stopped right before you made it. So how's that feel?
Can I just say that it is so strange that these kind of psychological effects apply equally to collecting, investing, and gambling? That feels like a problem.
It might be that the same mechanisms might drive them. Again, the more and more I think, I feel like cards are even worse for this. Video games are bad, but cards are even worse. So if we went back to the endowment effect, real quick, when somebody opens up a valuable card and then they're trying to get rid of it and they get lowballed on it, they're like, but I opened it. But I opened it. I did it. So that even more attachment forms to it. Yeah. Or it's like, oh, but this was my childhood video game. It's like, well, you don't care about it, so you're selling it. Well, now I know that it has value and it was my childhood game. Okay. Yeah. These, it's insidious. Your brain is there, and people have learned how to take advantage of it. And sometimes your brain just does things and you take advantage of yourself, which is equally bad.
I mean, we're pretty good at tricking ourselves if it lets us buy more stuff. That's why America's $1 trillion in credit card debt, because we're really dumb.
That's not. I mean, there's other reasons for that. We don't need to get into any of that. That would be definitely a political conversation. We were already dangerously close earlier.
Johnny, the next one is pre-commitment to arbitrary investment limits, and that's a mouthful here. So this is an idea that people get in their mind to counter the sunk cost fallacy. So they're already down, but they're. I'm just going to read the definition. To counter the sunk cost effect, commitment to a project or investment is terminated mechanistically at an arbitrary preset limit, regardless of circumstances remaining or arising in favor of rational persistence. What does that mean? That means you bought a copy of Tecmo Bowl for $120,000, and it is on the way down. It is a rocket ship heading towards the core of the Earth. And rather than being like, well, it's the time to sell, let me make a rational decision right now based on all data and just consider this 0.0. I have this copy of Tecmo Bowl in my possession. Forget what I paid for it. Forget what's happening. Is the right thing to do to sell this right now? You instead say, oh, I'm gonna let it, if it drops another 10%, I'll sell it. Or if it, I'm gonna give it 3 months and then check back in. You're not making that decision based on like financial analysis. You're just like, well, it feels like 10% would feel even worse than it does now. So I'm just gonna set this arbitrary new sell limit for my...
The mode of decision is decided by an arbitrary moment or outcome rather than through any rational or science evidence-based decision.
This is how every cryptocurrency transaction works. People buy Bitcoin and they're like, well, I'll sell it when it goes up 25% or whatever. And there is absolutely no reason it would ever go up 25%. Like, a lot of the times it does, whatever, it's cryptocurrency, but they just set an arbitrary thing based on zero financial data. Like, there's absolutely no impulse behind it.
So here's the other thing. You know what else this comes up? This is fun. And it's why we have a whole podcast, Tyler. It comes from collectors. If we're like talking about collectors, when we tell you how to collect a thing, we actually give you, I think we do a good job of setting non-arbitrary things, but we're like, oh, if you're going to be a collector, do this thing, set a limit for yourself, do all this stuff. We give you some deterministic rules about how it should be done, when really maybe the answer is just don't collect at all. But
You'll be so much happier if you don't collect, guys.
We give you fucking guidelines like, okay, don't spend more than you can afford. And then you're like, okay, that's $200 a month. I can afford $200 a month. And you're like, okay, don't worry about sealed games. You should not buy carts though. So only buy CIB. And you're like, okay, I'm only spending $300 a month and I'm only going to buy CIB. Okay. And, don't collect for more than 2 systems. Okay. So we have determined like those kind of rules based off our experience and everything, but that in itself is just a little bit arbitrary, but this is kind of what it looks like. This is what the thought process looks like. And you can use these things, this idea for good, to set limits on yourself, but don't fool yourself on where the limits come from.
They come from your stupid monkey brain that's making stuff up.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes people use science to like get better at things, and we try to use our experience, but a lot of times, like especially like YouTube videos are the worst for this. You hear them setting these rules like, oh, a new collector should do X, Y, and Z, and I'm just looking at them like, where did you pull these numbers out of? What is happening? Why? Where do these facts come from? They're not, because they're not facts. Some guy just made some weird decision. So also be careful who your experts are. But that's a whole other thing.
That's true. Johnny, I'm just going to say, if you are a person who is drawing on cryptocurrency graphs a bunch of lines and talking about price targets and the shape of graphs using technical analysis, this is your wake-up call that you're not doing anything. Those lines are not based on any underlying financial flows. They are 100% vibe based, and you're wasting your time. And you know who you are if I'm talking to you. I just want to say that. Arbitrary investment limits. Get out of here. If you're going to buy something, buy it. If you're going to sell it, sell it. Don't do this wishy-washy bullshit.
It's true.
Johnny, the next psychological effect affecting collectors. Oh, is that what we called the first episode? That would be a good name for it. Psychological effects affecting collectors. This time it's going to be psychology destroying the hobby.
Yeah.
Avoidance of regret. This one I'm terrible at. So this is the literal textbook definition. Outcomes are measured not by their realized or realizable market values, but in relation to what could have been. A monetary gain comes with a sense of loss if it would have been higher under another action. Expected monetary value is foregone so as to avoid regret. So basically,
better to overpay than miss out.
You'd rather overpay than miss out, or I mean, it could be on the other end too. It could be just the fact that you sold and feel bad about it because, like, you sold a game for $900 and now it's worth $1,100. It's like, fuck, man, I should just hold on to it forever.
Yeah, it goes both ways. That's why I call it the Tyler, because when I think about it, I think of your refrain, I would rather pay $100 more than miss out and have to deal with this later, because you would just regret those moments. And again, we all have that moment. I just lamented myself, what was it, 2 episodes ago, where I forgot to put in my real bid on a thing and lost by by being the underbidder and wanted to just like kick myself in the face for a week. Just, ugh. It's real, guys. Your brain will. I'm still torturing myself over it. It's not worth it. Get out from under this idea.
This episode should be focused on strategies to combat things that are making you make bad decisions. I don't know how to combat this. Like, the way to combat this is to accept that you're not going to win everything you want to. You're going to regret not winning stuff. You're going to regret winning some stuff. Like, regret is a feeling. Even when you don't win something, like, you have to accept that, like, oh, okay, just because I didn't win this time, it's still going to come up again. Everything comes up multiple times. Yes. It's not a certainty that this is going to increase in value. Maybe the next time it comes to market, it's going to be 20% less. It doesn't matter. I could tell myself all those things, and I still, like, if something comes up, like something like rare-ish, like it only comes up once a year type thing, I will overpay for it every single time because I need to have it, because I hate the feeling of missing an auction. I hate it. Johnny, do you want a quick, what are you buying this week? What am I buying? I am buying a bid on an Ultima Underworld that I did not win, and I made it one of the most expensive items in the recent PC auction because I bid way too much on this, and still someone outbid me, which is a fucking ridiculous feeling. Hilarious. And so now I bought nothing. So in a sense, I would have probably regretted paying. It went for $2,000. I would have regretted paying $2,000 for a sealed Ultima Underworld, second print, by the way. But I bid crazy on it because I fucking hate not having it. It's so annoying.
So I will tell you, there is more to this than just this. So regret avoidance comes in some other behaviors that I know some of you sad collector friends of mine have done. I'm going to give you those. Tell me if this rings true. You bought it because you were afraid there was going to be a price spike. So, or maybe you went out and bought a sealed copy because you knew the regular copies were spiking. You bought 2, or you start hoarding copies because what you need it, and what if it goes up, and I think it's going up, so I'm just going to hoard. I'm going to buy 3 or 4. You definitely didn't need 3 or 4. You're not an investor. You're not a reseller, but you did it anyways. And then, like we said, the main one is that overpayment to regret not buying, and then going back is exactly what Tyler did. Then just diving right back into the auction, even though that's when the most eyes are going to be on it, and then placing yourself right in the competition of it again. This is the emotional skeleton of FOMO, guys. This is what it looks like. This is like you are building FOMO the man here, like with all these actions.
So you're right about that. And, it's something I actually did do to combat this is I set my bid on that Ultima Underworld, and I did not watch the live auction, because if I was watching the live auction and I see it slipping out from under my hands, it's like maybe I hit the bid button again. But by setting a limit in advance and then just like not thinking about it, I can at least prevent myself from FOMOing into it even more.
So eBay is really good at this. eBay has done a lot of work, a lot of psychology work on this aspect and how they attack you. So they congratulate you when you win a bid. They tell you you're winning now, but watch out, something could happen. They talk about, oh, so bad. Oh, you missed out. They let you know how bad it was that you lost, and when you win, they congratulate you. There is a literal email that goes, congratulations. You don't walk
It
into
didn't
fucking
used to
Target
say
and buy-
congratulations too. They figured this out over time.
Yeah. So you can walk into Target and buy anything, or basically, you know, you can go to Amazon, whatever. You buy some shampoo. Nobody fucking congratulates you. Okay. It's wild to think about. And we've so normalized it. You stop thinking about it. But eBay is like, congratulations, guy. You did a good thing. And they're like, bid victoriously. They create whole marketing strategies around this very idea. This is the core of how they get you to bid more. They want you to, they warn you, they're like, oh, closing soon, could be more bidders. You're winning now, but what if someone else comes in? They send you messages that tell you this. They are preying on you, hoping to set this up. So again, I used to say this a lot more on the podcast, and you touched on it very briefly, but do set yourself limits. Don't, especially on mass-produced items. Look, I get when it's a rare one of, you know, only comes up every once a year and you got to fight for things. Some things you do absolutely have to fight for if you want to own it. That's a whole other topic. If you actually need it, whatever. You've decided you want to own it, so you're going to do some bidding. But if not, on just normal stuff, it's just a nice CIB, it's going to come back. They will list more. Don't raise the ceiling on a game. Don't be the person who pushes it up 2x its value because you just felt like you needed it. Just wait. I will let things go and just be like, you know what? It'll be back. I don't want to be the guy who raises the price. So I'm like, I'm not going to bid. I usually look at what market is and I'm trying to like come in. Like I know people went hot at it. I want to come in a little under what that is. Or, you know, maybe a little over, like condition based and everything. I'm doing a proper evaluation, but like whatever, if it's the market high, I don't necessarily want to come in. I want to start bringing the prices down. I don't want to pay top of market for everything. And this all mass produced stuff. So you shouldn't want to do that either. So be careful.
I just want to say this book that I have in front of me, Collectible Investments for the High Net Worth Investor. Also, to be very clear, we are not high net worth investors. This book is really centered around like buying coins and collectible cars and like real ridiculous shit like that. But it's applicable to stupid people stuff like Pokemon cards and video games too. That is something they reiterate in this book over and over is collectors are really dumb about thinking that something available now will be their only buying opportunity when everything, no matter how rare something is, it always comes back to market. And like, maybe if we're talking like the world's best copy of Action Comics #1 or the best Honus Wagner card, which has been owned for like decades now and just hasn't come back to market, maybe that kind of stuff, like we're talking on the scale of decades, maybe that's a problem if you need to get that. But nothing we are buying is on that level.
No, and that's why I said like very few things are ever going to be in these terms. I
was just about to say like maybe the sticker sealed Super Mario Brothers is on that level. No, it's fucking not. That will be for sale again in our lifetime. I'm 100% sure that will be for sale again in our lifetime.
I hope it's not. I hope you're wrong.
I don't know what the situation is with Rich Lecce's portion of that because Rich Lecce was one of the 3 buyers of that and he passed away unfortunately a year or so ago. But like I would imagine his estate wants to get rid of that, but maybe he just sold his portion to the other buyers.
Or maybe it was sold quietly and we'll never know. Who knows? You know, again, conspiracy theorists would tell us that he was the only owner of that.
So the one of the owners is Zach Geig and the other is it's the Heritage Auction.
Allegedly.
It's not alleged. This is in like
allegedly.
Okay, fuck
I'm
off.
just.
But like, he is just a guy.
I'm just being a Redditor.
Zach Geig is not like a Saudi prince who has no like any amount of money cannot sway him. If someone came up to him and is like, "Hey, I'll give you $50 million for this copy of Super Mario Brothers," he would say yes, and that is what will eventually bring it to market again. But by the way, in speaking of the recent video game. I don't even consider the market in that much of a downturn. I guess it's just really ho-hum and not very exciting. One of the things that was causing the doom and gloom in the sealed market was a hang tab Super Mario Brothers that was for sale. Like one of the best hang tabs in the world, which sold for like less than $200,000, and it was a big deal. This is the same type of game that I don't know if you remember around 2019, I think a copy on eBay, sealed hang tab sold for like $30,000. And that was like big news. I was like, what the fuck? Cause like sealed hang tabs are rare. And sealed hang tab Super Mario, like sealed hang tabs in general are rare. I mean, like, and a sealed hang tab Super Mario Brothers is like one of the best things in sealed game collecting. And it went from $30,000 is headline news to less than $200,000 is like the hobby's basically dead now.
I love it. Okay, let's go to the next one. We still got a list here.
All right, Johnny, we've got choosing not to choose, and that is a fear of making things worse outweighs the attraction of possible gains, causing inertia and preventing change from the status quo. Decision outcomes are forecast not in absolute terms, but relative to what would occur under existing arrangements, and actions that would cause regret are foregone regardless of their possible upside, which you are paralyzed by choice and are not taking actions that could benefit you financially. Or
yeah, I mean, this is a psychological effect that isn't just in finance and collecting. People, this is don't do it because I'm afraid of regret is a thing that preys on people and has a tale as old as time. I don't want to ask that girl out. What if she says no? What if I get rejected? I'll feel so bad. Or, well, I'm not, what if I do this and it turns out wrong? Well, people are afraid to fail. People are afraid to succeed. This is all part of that.
To put it, I hate going back to seal games all the time, but it is the most financial market of game collecting. But apparently, not an exciting time for seal games. So probably a lot of people are on the sidelines, just like, well, I'm just not gonna fucking bother with any games right now because it looks like that stuff's on fire. Even if there are games selling for like 2017 prices right now, you could get like A-list sealed games. Maybe not Super Mario Brothers, but like good sealed games for like 2017 to 2019 prices. And
Tyler, I can't sell right now. What if it's worth double next year?
But what if it goes back to 2014 prices?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
but no, Tyler, that's not the world I ever live in. I can only see that I could lose a potential gain that's not real.
Yeah. So your fear and uncertainty is preventing you from making the good decision. The good decision, of course, being buying that 9.2 A+ Contra for $5,000. Honestly, like, that doesn't seem that bad. I feel like Contra is a top 10 NES game. If I was buying sealed NES games, I would probably buy a Contra for $5,000. Like a 9.2 A+, like, that's a fine copy of Contra.
Yep.
And if you don't have a Contra, this is your wake-up call. I think like Contra is an underpriced video game. It's like less than $200 for a really nice complete in box. Go get a nice copy of Contra. You deserve it. Treat yourself. Because like I understand like Mike Tyson's Punch Out and all that shit is like oh, the white bullets $1,000 for a mint copy. No, you can get a good copy of Contra for like $200. Go get it.
You can, just not me.
And
what if I do something wrong?
This is I need to talk about video game collecting stuff. Sometimes we don't talk about enough of this stuff. Johnny, in Contra, there is a Konami insert, and it says there's only one thing as exciting as our 10-hit video games, and the Contra one, the number 10 should be spelled out in letters. There's another variant of that insert that has numbers. That is not the correct one to go with Contra. There's your video game collecting knowledge for the day.
Ooh, good one.
So use that when you're going to buy your copy of Contra.
That we save that one. Remember to talk about it. That when we talk about making your collection better by doing these basic things.
Look at this. I mean, you get like a nice copy of Contra for like $150. Anyway.
Yeah.
I really like
Go
Contra.
buy, you know what? You should buy 10 because, what if they go up?
What if they go up? The thing is, like, Contra's on the way down. Like, man, like, is NES the new Atari? Is that's got to be an episode. Is NES the new Atari, Johnny? Like, are we just all dying and this is all...
Oh, that I love the clickbait sounding of that. Yeah. Is any like, well, but don't make it a question. NES is the new Atari. Question mark, exclamation point.
We are going to get some data and we are going to prove that point regardless of what reality is. We're going to make people worry that Nintendo doesn't matter anymore. I like it. And also an undertone of that episode is going to be that like Nintendo is kind of bad now. Like Nintendo is run by like business executives. Like Nintendo used to be run by people who used to be video game developers, which is fucking awesome. Obviously, Satoru Iwata was the greatest president of Nintendo. And now it's run by like fucking suits. And you can feel that the soul is gone, Johnny. And no one's going to care about Nintendo anymore. So no one's going to care about the NES. And it's just going to be another Atari. And
pretty soon,
Sony is going to be the only company that we love anymore.
No, that's Sony's already run by suits.
I
so
don't
just can't tell.
What am I talking about?
So we're going to get a red and blue classic NES released with a controller that has like an image of Mario on it. And they'll sell it at like Comic-Con and just like that yellow Atari. Once that happens.
Why would it be red and white? Like Famicom colors? Because Nintendo colors, you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is the Nintendo logo red and white? Because those were the colors of the Famicom? Oh my God, everything is... my brain is exploding right now. Is that a real thing? Because Nintendo's logo wasn't always red and white. Oh, this is cool. This is good lore. No, it's probably just because Mario's red. Never mind.
Yep. There you go. All right. You figured it out. Okay.
Johnny, overconfidence and overtrading. Let me give you the boring textbook definition first.
Okay.
Overconfidence, meaning subjective probability estimates overly close to 1 or 0 certainty relative to the available evidence, breeds excessive optimism and induces overtrading by indicating profit opportunities that don't actually exist. And so going back to our crypto, this means that every day, if you're a crypto trader, you wake up and you say, well, it's the crypto market. There's money to be made somewhere because obviously there has to be money to be made in crypto when that might not be the case.
Hey, Tyler, do you believe in timing the markets? Do you believe in understanding rarity and predicting spikes?
Absolutely.
Do you think you're really good at all these things?
I tell everybody to buy S&P 500 index funds and just do the most boring investments possible because I believe that we should be trading options and trying to time the best times to buy into the market.
Yeah. Do you like to tell people about bubbles and when it's bursting and when it isn't? Do you like to talk to do you like to be like really confident and like weirdly stare into the camera and you talk about how you're an expert? And how you know these things better than everyone, and make logical fallacy appeals to people based on expertise.
Yep, I think we gotta end this analogy and come to the point now.
I'm just saying. Hey, Reserved Investments is a channel you referenced earlier, okay. And this is apropos of nothing.
He is no, he is the number one guy who tells you not to invest in collectibles.
I'm just saying, but this is. My point here is more that this is the YouTuber effect. This is the people out there that know the market better than everybody. They make these kind of appeals and they get you to believe these ideas. And then suddenly you think you know the market. And those people might actually have a lot more knowledge than you, but you've convinced yourself. You've done the research. I've done my own research, the psychological problem.
Sure. Exactly. How do you combat this, Johnny?
I don't know.
Do your own research.
I don't know.
Do a Google search. No.
I watched a YouTube video on this, so I'm something of a scientist myself.
See, I feel like there are always buying opportunities, though. I mean, I guess if the entire video game market is coming down, that would technically be a time where there aren't buying opportunities. And there's always the opportunity cost to worry about. So if video game prices are staying flat, and you could buy the same copy of Contra for the same price next year, you should buy that copy of Contra next year because the money will be worth less comparatively. So that copy is actually getting cheaper over time.
Yeah, and the dollar is deflating, so, you know.
So, I mean, I don't know what to say. Don't, there's not always a profit opportunity at any given time on any given auction. Everyone just might be making a bad decision at the same time on heritage auctions.
Yeah, and again, the overconfidence thing, this thing, overconfidence and overtrading, is usually a mentality that is bolstered by people who are persuasive and confident, and they inject that into their views and into their viewers. So this is like a YouTube syndrome.
I mean, yeah, because it like the YouTube guy is talking about the Pokemon Investing Bro YouTube channel is talking about like the Pokemon markets every day. And if you watch that every day, you are thinking like, oh man, I need to be in here trading all the time. Look at all the profits. And he's obviously focusing on like the top 1% of whatever. Fucking Comic Tom. I don't even have to make a Pokemon channel up. Yeah. Comic Tom every week. I don't really watch Comic Tom anymore, but he would have the you know, like the top 10 movers and shakers in the comic book market. And if you're always looking at like the biggest gains every week, it feels like there's always opportunities to be buying into these books that are, and it's so funny because the same books appear on that top 10 list all the time. But what happens is, so say like some Spider-Man book will go up 40%. And then in the next 2 months, it will return to normal. And then it will shoot up another 30%. And it will come on the list again. And it will say the price shot up 30% again. It's in the top 10 again. But really, it's gone down 10% from where it was 2 months ago. Like all these weird things happen when you're looking at charts like this.
Yeah. And the other funny thing it does is, so when they talk about movers and shakers, they're usually like, here's the top 10. And then here's like the bottom 5. Usually they make the bottom 5 smaller, because the movers going up are more exciting than the ones that are falling. But when you see, and they do this on purpose, because then it feels like there's more of an upward trajectory, even if that is false. And then people can see like, oh, there is opportunity. I do see that things went up. You showed me 10 things that went up. So things must be going up. And I now have listened to you. So I feel like an expert. I am smart too. So I can find an opportunity to make money, or my purchases will be smart and good because I have been learning. And yeah, that's how you fall into this fallacy.
I've been told by Strange in our Discord that Absolute Batman is propping up the entire local comic book store industry right now. Apparently people cannot get enough Absolute Batman.
I wanted to read it, but then I was like, I don't feel like buying individual copies of this. I'll wait until the trade comes out.
That's what I could do with anything. I have no desire to be on the cutting edge of comic books. There are literally thousands of comic books I'm willing to read that have already been written. Like I don't need, because I'm not like discussing this with anyone. I could discuss Absolute Batman with you, but I could discuss anything with you. So, yeah, we could talk about the Long Halloween. After Dark, Long Halloween. Let's go.
Oh, excellent. I do love the Long Halloween.
Everybody.
There's a new one out, and I need to get, I like to have the individual issues of that, because I have all of the other ones.
As someone who doesn't own very many comic books, I am pretty sure I own the Long Halloween at least, which is incredible because those books cost nothing. Right? Long Halloween's not expensive at all. This is like
some of them went up a little bit, but I mean, we're talking about what are they, like $20, maybe $50 at the number one, like not too bad.
And I like mine aren't in like gradable condition. I just bought like decent books on eBay. So
yeah, because you wanted to read them. Yeah, man, we can talk about Harrow County. You want to read some Harrow County with me?
No.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Okay.
No, I've been reading
next
manga
one
more. Anyway,
what have you been reading?
Manga.
Oh, manga. We'll have to have a comic discussion in the After Dark. Anyways, move on.
Johnny, the next one is myopic loss aversion. And here's the textbook definition. Investors who feel losses more heavily than gains of the same magnitude ignore good long-term investments because they're frequent short-term price falls. The more frequently an investment's price is evaluated or posted, the lower must be its price volatility to appeal to the investor. And what this means is that you're checking the Bitcoin price too much and you're getting stressed about your Bitcoin investments because you could check the Bitcoin price literally every second. So if you have a stadium events, a complete in box stadium events, if you have a Nintendo World Championships Gold, you could really only worry about the price of that so much if it sells once every 10 years. There's not a lot to worry about. But if you have a sealed Super Mario Brothers 3, those sell almost every day. I don't know, that might not be true, but those sell very frequently. And so you could worry about your, damn, it's going down 10% today. And you could start getting caught up in the day-to-day price of the things you own.
You can. You're afraid to buy at the dip. Again, here's the hard one about this one. If you have loss of, some of these don't line up to each other, especially like if you are trying to invest or trying to flip to gain things, you need to avoid this one very specifically because any market can be volatile. There will be shifts up and down. But people have this tendency to remember the negative. They focus on the negative. They feel negative, like the negative things affect them more than the positive things. They again, a nice thing can happen to you, you forget it, but you remember the two bad things that happened to you because you let those hurt you more. People really mentally set themselves up to remember negative stuff more than they remember the positive stuff.
Johnny, I think there are probably video games you could buy now that will be more expensive in the future, but also they will go down in value at some point along that path because the video game market has been very shaky, especially for the past 6 or so years.
Well, I mean, and this is, you're dealing in collectibles, right? Like, collectibles is not a regulated market. Like, even regulated markets go up and down. The up and down is what makes people get up in the morning, so to speak. It is the nature of the beast that makes it exciting and interesting for people to want to take part in. So if you can't suffer the downswing, you aren't ready for the upswing. If you can't handle me at my downest, you aren't ready for me at my uppest, says the price graph. I don't know why I said that. That was weird. Anyways, move on from that weird example and just remember, don't focus on your negatives. Try to make reasonable decisions and don't let one bad moment poison the rest of your thinking.
And just always remember, as you're saying, Johnny, collectibles, they're just, all their prices are fake. Like, literally, there's no reason that a copy of Super Mario Brothers Complete in Box should be $200. There's no reason it should be $30. Unlike stocks, which are based on real financial underpinnings, except for Intel, Palantir, Tesla, probably OpenAI. That's not a stock, but Johnny, the stocks are also based on vibes, and it's just all fake. Everything is fake. All money is fake. So you know what? This is how we're going to combat this. Money is fake. We made it up. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, great.
You go to your job, your boss gives you a few dollars. Like, what is a dollar? You don't know. It's set by the Federal Reserve. Like, the banks invent money out of nowhere to create loans somehow using this magic interest rate. That's all just made up. We need to go back to the gold standard. Am I right? Or we need to use Bitcoin is what actually I don't believe any of this, just to be clear. I do believe money is fake, but it's the best thing we got going, I think.
Did my thing drop or did you?
Mental accounting, Johnny. Our last one. Investors partition their finances into separate mental accounts, in quote, like coins kept in different jars, and then think of these differently as though money. So these jars are fake, just like money is fake.
I'm really bad about this. This is one of my weaknesses.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so it's like, I'm not looking at my money holistically, which I should. I don't look at my overall money. I'm like, oh, well, that's a good value there. And I'm like, I have some money over here for this, and I have some money over here for this. And I do. I just like spread that money around. And sometimes I'm like, oh, wait, how much money did I spend? Especially because I have multiple hobbies, Tyler. It's all in little batches all over the place in my brain on how much I'm going to spend or what I'm going to spend. And when a good deal comes up or when it doesn't come up, yeah, it's bad. It's bad, Tyler. I don't like it.
So what is the difference between this cognitive bias and budgeting? So if I say I budget,
budgeting, right?
If I budget $300 a month on video games, like, how is this? Yes. That's a mental accounting because, even if I'm writing it down on paper, that $300 of, whatever, the $5,000 in my bank account, and I'm saying $300 is here for video games. Like, that is just separating $300 for video games. So is the problem that I've budgeted this $300, and even though there might not be $300 worth of games that I want to buy right now, I'm going to spend it because I've already budgeted it? Saying that budgeting is bad?
No, that's a little bit part of it. But the problem is you start to look at the money differently. This is like, imagine if you looked at your profits like it's just money you could go spend elsewhere because that doesn't really matter. It's not. All of your money is your money. Okay. So the idea that you have to, the budget these are all little budgeted items that go into the bigger budget, right? So you will sometimes start to be like, well, this is money for this. Like, you might just make bad spending decisions because you feel like you've put a budget for it. You don't necessarily need a budget for those things. You should know what you're spending, but maybe you don't chunk it up into too many different things. And I know I do that. And it's like, it also creates this idea that you can spend money on things, and it kind of, it deflects how much money you are spending too when you don't do this kind of accounting, because you're like, I have 10 hobbies. Each of these is $100. But if I told you that you should not spend $1,000 on video games a month, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, but you can spend $100 on video games. And you say, yeah, sure. I'm like, and you can spend $100 on comics, and you can spend $100 on Legos. And we go through, and then suddenly you have 10 items and you've just spent $1,000. That is not necessarily the wisest way to do it. But because your brain will parse it up into other little chunks, you don't see the whole effect of it. You don't see that you have actually budgeted $1,000 at a thing that might be questionable, if that makes sense.
So like a third of these effects that we're talking about come down to like all money should be just treated the same as it is now, or the value of items, and you need to not.
But your brain is good at tricking you.
Yeah. You need to not consider what's
yourself.
happened to that money in the past, or what you spent it on in the past. You just need to consider what the money is worth right now, and all those dollars are worth the same.
Right. Well, and you should, like, you know what you should be treating any money you have? All money is going down in value every single day, pretty much. Your money is losing value every day, especially as the cost of living has risen for everybody, objectively, so at least in the United States. It's gone way up. It's outpaced house of living increases. So your dollar is worth less than it was a year ago. It's less than it was 2 years ago. Your money is just continually going down in value. Okay, so you have to be treating it right. You have to be treating like what it is today, not tomorrow. If you save $100 and you didn't gain any interest on it, you actually lost money. You might have lost 4% on your dollar. That's why they tell you don't keep $1,000 under your mattress. But I also disagree that, you should keep some amount of hard money available to you, because you never know when there's going to be an emergency and, you can't access something, and you might need some money. But that doesn't mean keep your life savings under your fucking mattress. That just means keep a little bit aside for an emergency. You shouldn't have your life savings in
a savings account either, because it's just
you should
money
have
over
it,
time. You should. Hey, let me tell you about this S&P 500 index fund. Have we talked about these? I don't even own an S&P 500 index fund, Johnny. I'm in VT Sachs.
Have you talked about Linux yet?
We have, yes, because we were talking about how the charities are stealing our data.
Okay, excellent. So, that's we've checked boxes. S&P 500 has been mentioned a few times, and Linux. But yeah, you should be very wary of any hard money that you have that's just money you have sitting in a checking account. God, money sitting in a checking account is actually the worst fucking place for your money. You should only keep what is necessary to pay your bills in your checking account. It is not a savings account, and your savings account probably isn't a high yield savings account. So it's literally just losing you money. You are not pacing the growth of money, and you're losing money all the time. So don't save money because it's just going down in value. Spend it now while you get max value. Is that what I just meant? Nope.
I feel like in school, or just like in children's financial advice, like they drilled into my head how important it was to save money in a savings account, which is like, fuck savings accounts. What the fuck? Why are we teaching our kids this? Savings accounts suck. They're terrible.
When they tell you should have X amount, like checking accounts that say you should have X amount in your checking account, go fuck yourself. I don't want to keep any money in my, like, I want to be able to overdraw my checking account and then get a notice that like, hey, your account is at this much, and then just pay it like a bill at the end of the month and not get charged for anything. I don't want any extra money in my savings account or checking account that doesn't need to be there, because that's just a nothing spot for my money. It's the worst. That's like putting it under your mattress.
Yeah.
Stop it.
A little bit better than putting it under your mattress, because at least your house can't burn down or get burgled.
That's true. But if you just have gold, that gold will just melt, and you can probably resmelt it back, right? That's how that works. I mean, it'll like leak into like the concrete and stuff, but you could like chip that out. Get a pan out, just like the prospectors did. You could refine that down.
All right, Johnny, I'm reading the paragraph on mental accounting here, and there's a much better example than anything that I've said, good. I think. And it is
probably better than what I said too.
The idea that you have a salary and you get a bonus. So it's the money you're getting is even from the same source. It's from your job. But when most people get a bonus, or we could say your tax refund or something, it's just money you're getting in. It's just like income. But when people get their tax refund, they turn into animals.
Crazy.
They're just like, God damn, I could buy a car now. That
eBay
was
ticks
money
up.
you paid to the government that you did not have to. They are not giving you money. They are giving you back the money that was already yours. This is not a windfall. This was your money that you should have already had. You fuck.
Yeah. So, what you could have done is just let the government only take exactly what they needed from you and just pay a tax bill at the end. And then that way, the government isn't making interest on your money. You are.
All right. I don't want to get into the politics and finances of taxes, but this is the idea of mental accounting, that your tax refund is not real money, it's fun money. Ugh.
I'm going to be that guy. Taxes theft. Like, just start shouting it.
Taxes
wear a
great.
sign.
We need to increase all of our taxes on everyone across the board to provide good services in this country. That's the official Collector's Quest political stance, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that seems risky.
Johnny, we didn't mention Gixen once. I'm sure Gixen could combat like 25% of these psychological effects. If you just set a price you want to buy something at and not think about it, you'll be good, especially on the avoidance of regret.
Did you win anything with Gixen? Save it for save what you won if you did for later. But did you just win anything with Gixen?
I absolutely did not. I really haven't bought that much because I've literally been like saving up and just being like, I'm just gonna win this Ultima Underworld. I don't care what it costs, and I put in like not really a fuck you bid, but a big bid, and I still lost. So. All right, I'm just not buying video games at the end of the year here, and I need a new car anyway, so it's probably good that I didn't win that Ultima.
Well, now is exactly the wrong time to be buying. I will tell everybody that December is a bad time to buy stuff. Mostly, I
think it's a good time to buy cars.
Well, yeah, there will be times for video games where people will sell because they need to be selling to buy Christmas presents, but also people know that that people are buying, so you get this like price increase. There's a really interesting thing that happens every year. I keep talking about cards, but TCG Player, this website?
It's a website that tracks card prices.
Yeah, they're also
it's a marketplace, actually. Yeah.
It's a marketplace, and it's owned by eBay now. Anyways, they do this 10% back sale, usually twice a year, and it is fascinating every year to watch what happens, because the general price of all items a month before the sale are like a little down. Like everything has some volatility moving up and down. But when the sale comes, all of the prices of these items, because everybody wants to buy, the overall price of the items goes up. It doesn't matter that you're getting 10% back. If the price moved up 10%, you're not actually saving anything. And in fact, getting 10% back on an overpriced sale just to spend back into their marketplace is good for them, not necessarily good for you. But I watch the price curve, unless you were right when the sale started. But even then, people start planning it. So you can see even days before, because the sale is announced, it's always ticking up. So the price graph is ticking up as people are anticipating the sale. And sellers are moving their items prices up because they know a bunch of people are going to be buying. Just don't get tricked. And they always do this around Black Friday. And you look at it, people are like, oh, I bought so much stuff. I saved so much money. I got 10% back. And you're like, well, you paid 12% more than you would have if you just bought that on January 3rd. So I don't know if that's really a savings.
Johnny, do you remember waking up and eBay would just be like, 10% eBay bucks. Just go buy some stuff. We'll give you like a shitload of money.
Yeah, well, and remember, we would talk about how the price on stuff would go up. You'd see like bigger sales. We would track like, oh my God, I can't believe someone paid that money because like they had those eBay bucks.
Yeah, but you would see bigger sales because people would like, if a buy it now is overpriced 5%, who cares? Like I've got 10% eBay bucks. It's still a deal. Man, they don't do that anymore. But they would just drop those. It would just be like you wake up and it's like, dude, you got to go buy something right now, 10% eBay bucks. Yeah. Why don't I get those anymore, Johnny? I want to be full mode into buying stuff.
Up to $5,000 or $1,000. I remember we'd be out there and we'd be like, man, we're gonna get that eBay check back. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, so, they had like huge limits. I remember buying like a lot of stuff, especially when they had like the 8 and 10% sales.
Oh yeah,
this is definitely what fed into my like 2020 and like maybe like 2016 through 2020. I don't remember exactly when this was, but like, yeah, I was buying a lot of stuff when those eBay things dropped.
I miss the frenzy of that. I miss it. I enjoyed that.
I just wish they could psychologically trick me into buying more stuff I don't need.
Me too. Please help me spend my money, eBay. Bring it back. They must have lost money, because if they were making money, there's no way they would have cut it.
I mean, they must be making so much. In terms of collectibles, they must be making so much money on trading cards alone that they have no reason to like spend a day to give up 10% profits.
I mean, but they own TCG Player, and TCG Player does this. Like, I'll get random like,
oh,
hey,
maybe that's
today,
what they do then.
Yeah. So maybe they just like, maybe it was on too much shit, and they're like, man, video games are kind of a bad deal. Let's just keep it on cards. So, yeah, Tyler, TCG Player does, shit goes crazy. Again, prices, I say it every year. I usually get some cool item like right in January or right after Christmas, because somebody has done an accounting of their funds and realized that they fucked up or overspent or need to recoup some amount of money. And they look and they combat a lot of the psychological effects we just talked about. And they're like, I should let these 3 things go and for a reasonable price, because I need money fast. And I'm there to be tricked by my collector brain into buying something cool for too much money.
All right, Johnny. Those are the psychological effects that are ruining the collecting hobby. I think in conclusion, don't start collecting anything. It's a trap, and all the companies online are going to try to trick you. Resellers will try to trick you. Other collectors will try to trick you. And it's all just a trick to make you spend more money chasing happiness, when, because of the hedonic treadmill, you could be doing literally anything and you will return to that base level of happiness. You don't need to own 2,000 video games to do it.
I'd say you need to own 2,000 video games to be cool. You'll be happy when Tyler and I acknowledge you. So just remember that.
There was a great video I just saw on YouTube, and it was about a guy who was at like a barbecue talking to his neighbor. And this was like a big YouTube video. I'm sure some people here have watched this. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm a gamer. And the guy was like, what games do you play? He's like, oh yeah, Far Cry 4. He's like, oh, what other games do you play? And he only plays Far Cry 4. He has played the other Far Cry games and doesn't like them. So he comes home from work, sits down, and plays 2 hours of Far Cry 4 every day. And that's the only video game he played. And you know what? I don't even think that he's the same level of happiness as you. I think that guy is happier than all of you guys.
He knows what he likes.
Dude just found it. He's a Far Cry 4 kind of guy. The most generic open world Ubisoft fucking video game, but dude likes flying around on a hang glider, whatever the fuck you do in Far Cry 4. I don't know.
Don't know. All right. Anyways, that's it. You did it. We wrapped it up. We talked about some psychology. Remember, your brain is the enemy. Stab your brain.
All right.
Nope, that's not what I mean. Just understand that these effects affect you. Tyler, shall we maybe look at the Discord and see the best things we've seen and then answer a question or two?
Viva got a complete in box Super Smash Brothers and Mario Golf, which are 2 of the 30 or so games you should own on a 64. So that's definitely good. And then Living in Bits got a really nice looking copy of Musha. Also, though, like I feel like most copies of Musha look pretty nice with the registration card.
He's got the reg card. So you did it. You earned your call out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't have a registration card for your Musha, first of all, you screwed up buying it. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. You should have got it with a registration card. But go just hound those copies of Hellfire on Genesis on eBay, because it has the same registration card. This is not secret knowledge. There are definitely other people doing this. But if you go to, we already gave a shout out to Gixxon. I'll give another shout out to itemalert.com. So I use Gixxon for sniping and for things I have like running all day, which isn't that much anymore. But itemalert.com will give you alerts every 30 seconds when you hit a new save search, which sometimes isn't fast enough. If you're trying to buy like sealed NES games, 30 seconds might not be fast enough to get like the ridiculous deals. Might be fast enough to get you a Hellfire registration card, though.
Cozy bought Ogre Battle on the PlayStation 1. Did you see that? He got a really nice copy. And he did the thing too. He made sure he got the map, but even more, he made sure he got the memory card sticker. So good job, Cozy.
He also got the Half-Life 2 Holiday 2006 collection, the very festive small box PC Half-Life collection. We mentioned that once on our Christmas games episode.
Yeah, I love it. Good pickups. All right. Anyone else you want to shout out? Or
No, the rest of you guys bought junk, and I don't want to hear about it.
Oh,
there was also a debate on like what the tier list of all the Nintendo franchises were, and you guys were not very good at understanding how good Nintendo franchises are.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna say, you guys put Kirby and Star Fox both in the C tier. Kirby, beloved franchise by like casual gamers, like everybody knows Kirby. Kirby Air Ride, a freaking Kirby Air Ride game, is one of the most anticipated Switch 2 games. And they put it in the same tier as Star Fox, a game that no one has played since Wii U, and people didn't even really play or like the Wii U game.
So here's my problem with tier lists, because anyone can just pull them out of their butt, and it's just an opinion, and sure. But no guidance is offered, no rhetoric. I don't know. I don't know what your rubric is for how you develop these tier lists. So then you're like, well, this is my opinion. It's like, well, what is your opinion based on? Your opinion to me is not good enough. How are you making these judgments? I would like some insight here, because if you say something crazy like Star Fox is a C tier game and forget to mention Metroid, or say Metroid is in the same tier, we should have a talk.
Metroid's in the same tier as Star Fox. Fight me. It's not. Metroid's probably better than Star Fox, but Metroid is so much lower than everything. Metroid is lower than Donkey Kong. Metroid's lower than Animal Crossing.
Sure. It's not in the same tier as Star Fox. Star Fox is barely a thing. How many Star Fox games are there?
Metroid is Pikmin tier. I'm just going to say that. Metroid and Pikmin are on the same tier. Fuck Star Fox. No one cares about Star Fox. There's one good Star Fox game, Star Fox 64. Adventures is kind of cool, but it's not. It's such a different game. Anyway, Johnny, I'm getting off topic. I love dissing Star Fox.
You're as bad as the people in our Discord.
No, I'm in our Discord, so there you go. Hey, and if you want to join the Discord, you can join our Patreon for $4 a month. We're on patreon.com. I'm sure you can Google it. I hate the fact that people give us money. It stresses me out.
Don't let it stress you out. We do a thing.
Everything on my blog as an alternative is released to the public domain. You could do whatever you want with that.
Okay. But if you want to be in our walled garden, you got to join us, where you will get bonus episodes and access to the Discord. Patreon.com/collectorsquest. Hey, Tyler, I really want to do an after dark where maybe I just like bring up things you hate. Just like, I just like get your hate tier list. How much do you like? I know you're going to hate everything on it, but make you put things you hate into a tier list. So people have that.
Good after dark. I'm in. Microsoft Windows, Meta, Google.
That'll be like all of this stuff is going to be on there.
Everything's going to be S tier.
S tier hate. I hate it all. But where does Collector's Quest merchandise fall on that?
I might be like a C tier. I'm not. I do hate it.
I know.
I especially hate that we had like an AI generated thing on there, but it's not fucking like we're comparing it to Google. These are like different levels of evil here.
And people asked us for this stuff. We resisted for a very long time.
Johnny, I've got some questions for the podcast, and I've got one from Joe here. You have the opportunity to magically standardize all video game packaging throughout history. Also, we've had like multiple episodes on best video game packaging. How would you design all the boxes, manuals, and cartridges?
DS cases. The end.
Would you use cartridges or discs or some hypothetical format? So we don't even have to pick a box that fits every existing media. We get to convert every piece of media to a different format.
DS case.
What inserts would you put?
DS case size. Look, I'm not changing anything. Everything is just going to be the length and height of a DS case.
No, we get to standardize the media too. So is everything going to be a DS cartridge?
I don't even need to, because a cartridge, like, will a Nintendo cartridge fit in a DS case if it was wide enough? Anyways, the answer is DS case. All the media.
We're standardizing the media, so every game, every PlayStation game is a DS game now. Every NES game is a DS game now.
Yeah. Yes.
No, DS cartridges are too small. They don't feel good to collect.
They don't need to be the size. Look, just the case. You can make them media.
What's the media? What's the media?
What would you like the media to be?
I don't
This
know.
is the
I
question.
mean, I like
What
an
do you
NES
want?
cartridge, but I agree. I want it to be smaller than NES boxes. As nice as NES boxes are.
I say DS case because it's slim, fits on a shelf. It's more sturdy than you know what? Here's the thing though. I don't love the paper on the inside of it. Is there something better than that?
Yes, there is. And there's something, it has an easy, there's actually, Johnny, I'm going with jewel cases. Jewel cases are the S tier packaging. I realize it would not be ideal to use optical media for every video game ever because you're going to have load times on your NES games, which is ridiculous. But there is nothing better to collect than jewel cases, I think. I love me a jewel case.
Is the answer a small, like, because look, I give a nod to resellers. They are like retail establishments. Like they can't put something the size of, a 2-inch square on a shelf and sell it because that doesn't make sense. They'll just be
PlayStation
stolen.
Vita games are pretty close.
No. But the packaging for a Vita game is bigger than that because you can't just have people being able to like grab $60 games and shove them in their pockets.
I mean, Vita cases are still pretty small though. They're small. They're the smallest video game packaging almost.
They
right?
are. They are pretty small. So like, yeah, maybe. But I want something. The problem is we need to make a new packaging, but maybe Vita is it in that form factor. But I would want like a hard clear plastic where like almost like some form of jewel case where the manual is definitely the front cover as well. So that gets rid of the people losing manuals. I don't need an extra piece of paper over that. And it all fits in that case. And if the media had to be wider, then the case, much like a jewel case, just gets wider. Like the double jewel case. Oh, it's got 4 discs. Well, we just made it twice as wide, but it all fits on the same shelf. I love that. It's perfect.
I think CDs are already perfect. I definitely wouldn't do NES games. I think NES games are a little bit too big. I mean, no, they're perfect for what they are, for having a big, impressive collection, but I wouldn't want every last PS2 game to take up twice as much space and be an NES thing. Like, I like how big NES games are because I like NES. And I even like, SNES and N64, which are big too. But I also have a lot of bullshit games. And I love the fact that I could buy like some bullshit like PC Engine games or PlayStation games that like, they're kind of like B-list games on my want list. And they take up nothing. I could find infinite room. I could buy as many discs as I want. Or like jewel cases. And I will find a place to put them. Whereas sometimes I buy NES games, I'm like, oh, damn, just bought 4 new games. Gotta find a place for these
The problem with the disc, though, like, I don't want to face any of the trouble that we have with optical media. So I think really the game key card is the correct answer.
Oh, well, yeah, then we'd always be able to download the game fresh from Nintendo's online servers.
Yeah, and never have any problems ever.
All right, that's really the answer. It's the Nintendo Switch 2 game key card. Joe, thank you for your question.
Yeah.
Gollum asks, if you had to pick a video game character to be the best man at your wedding, who would it be? This must have been around a time we were asking people for questions and they put in some crazy questions.
Who was drinking? Someone was having a nightcap.
I mean, Nathan Drake would give a funny speech. So, I mean, that would be a good one. He would kind of outshine you because he'd be more handsome than you, though.
Speak for yourself. Anyways.
You're just not going to answer? Oh, hey, no, this is a better question from... No, it's not a bad question. Johnny, answer the question. Don't make our patrons feel
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Any video game character?
I mean, any video game character. It would be horrifying. You could pick like Blastoise and people would be like, what the fuck, a monster? So
I would pick... did I talk about this? I don't know if I talked about this, but it's a thing. Did I talk about the Pokemon name thing and how much I think about it?
No.
Okay. So I would pick Lickitung from Pokemon. Because Pokemon can only say their own name, and I think about Lickitung a whole lot. He's just out there.
You have talked about this with the Hallmark ornaments.
I just love the idea of it. I would make Lickitung sit there and be like, Lickitung, 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 just the whole time, and I would just be gleeful about that.
Coey Jesus, Johnny, does ask, what kind of questions do you enjoy answering and what kind of questions do you dislike?
I like answering all the questions.
Yeah, I kind of like answering all the questions too. I guess I
Yeah.
like them more when they are related to collecting video games and give us something to think about, but whatever. I will
I mean, my favorite thing to do is monkey's paw people, but I like answering all the questions.
I just like shouting out people's names and letting them directly interact with us on the podcast, Johnny. I love it so much.
It sounds like you are
You
pimping
guys-
our Discord and
Guys
our
mean
Patreon.
so much to me.
Patreon.com/collectorsquest, says Tyler.
Oh my God, stop it.
You're the one who was like, get on our Discord.
Well, I'm talking to the people who are already there.
Okay.
What do we do now? Are we buying and playing stuff, Johnny?
Yeah. What are we buying? What are we playing? And what's your favorite piece of Collector's Quest merch? Just kidding. I'm enjoying teasing you right now. Yeah. It's what are we buying? What do we play? Tyler, what did you play and did you buy anything?
I bought. Well, I don't know. Did I tell you if I bought this? I bought the World of Warcraft.
You did. You met. Yeah.
Pre-order box with the novel in it. So I bought one of those, and it came and it had like a little dent in the side. So I bought another one.
Oh, nice.
So I upgraded my World of Warcraft pre-order, and this one came with the Burning Crusade pre-order. So I have both of them, and my better copy cost me like half the price of my bad copy. So.
Hold on. What do you mean it had a Burning Crusade pre-order?
There's a separate DVD case for the Burning Crusade pre-order thing.
Oh.
Or is it? It says 10-day free trial. I don't know what it is. I don't care about Burning Crusade. It was shipped through the mail. It has somebody's address label on the back of it.
Ooh,
it is kind of cool.
Send me a picture.
Johnny, this was $19 plus shipping. I was the only bidder on both of them.
Shit, you got a deal?
No, we've been talking about this on the show. Not a single person added this to their eBay watch list. Nobody wants the World of Warcraft pre-order. Come on, guys. It's World of Warcraft. I'm not even a World of Warcraft player. It's just an important game. It's kind of cool. And this isn't even the only like pre-order bonus. Like I feel like the Pokemon Gold and Silver pre-order is worth like $10. And I realize it's not Pokemon Red and Blue, but like it's a pre-order. It's the first Pokemon American pre-order. It's still pretty freaking cool for $10. Just go get one.
Yeah. Ooh, I like
freaking Pokemon cards from 2 years ago sell for like $1,500.
I mean, Gold Charizard I think is like $600 right now, so whatever.
What was the big one? It was a 2016 Luigi Pikachu card. It came in a Japanese box set, and a gem mint one sold for like $200,000.
Yeah, and that's the Luigi. The Mario goes for more.
This is, guys, come on. Like you could. What? This card came out in 2016. It's not even old. It's not 10 years old.
Nope.
I don't understand, man.
Tyler, what'd you play?
I don't know, man. I played some Cosmoteer. It's a space Factorio Minecraft. It's all right. Is that it? That might be the only thing I played. Do I have anything on my... Oh, you know what else I bought, Johnny? I'm hedging my bets against the RAM market. So I was actually planning on upgrading my home server. I've got a mini PC as my main home server, and then I've got like a Raspberry Pi, and I got like these little computers around, and I was gonna consolidate them all into like a fucking mega server, like AMD Epic, a terabyte of RAM, ridiculous power bill type stuff, and we're gonna have like all the local AI running on it, and like Home Assistant, just like everything, my media. And as I was planning this, RAM prices spiked till it would literally cost me $7,000 just to buy the RAM for this server. $7,000 for RAM. So obviously I'm not building that server anymore. So I bought another RTX 3090 graphics card for my PC to run slightly better large language models and look at the output of those large language models and be like, wow, this is still slop. I hate AI. But excellent, I think maybe not the worst time to buy a graphics card, because you know what graphics cards have on them? They have memory, and memory is going to get more expensive.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
What about you?
Tyler, I played some arcade games.
Whoa.
But I didn't, at Chuck E. Cheese, because it was my son's birthday. So I played all the dumb ones, like the big Fruit Ninja one, and I want you to know, I want to talk about this very specifically. How in the know do you think people are about the Pink Panther
Like kids?
at Chuck E. Cheese?
How in the know?
Yeah, I would say not at all, right? But there's a Pink Panther jewel heist game there, like one of these giant,
What are you talking about?
looks like a casino machine, Pink Panther. And this is, I tell people that IPs don't really die, right? Like the value of IP is crazy if you have a known quantity. So even things like the Pink Panther, which who the F is talking about the Pink Panther, it's in Chuck E. Cheese right now, which is crazy. There was a Halo game in there that I played. I played a lot of shoot the basketball into the hoop. How quickly can you do that? I did a lot of that. Modern arcades are garbage. Avoid it.
Well, hold on. So Chuck E. Cheese everything was still 25 cents when I was in high school and college. And so they would still let me in when I was like clearly too old to be there. But they had an Afterburner Climax machine and a couple pinball machines, which were a quarter each, which was like a crazy good deal.
Okay.
Do they have real arcade? First of all, is it still a quarter for everything? There's no way, right? They use cards and
no. So right now you get bands, right? So I bought these bands for everybody. Like each kid gets like 2,000 points. I have no idea how many credits they actually spent or used. Like you just pay. Like I don't know. I paid like $250 to be at Chuck E. Cheese with my son for 2.5 hours and his friends.
Just you and your son?
No. And his friends and like family members. And we had pizza and things like that. It was just a kid's birthday party. It was ridiculous.
All right.
But we walked around and we played all the dumb games, and there was not even like regular arcade machines anymore. It was all like the slop. There was like some fun games where you were like shooting things, they had a Halo game, they had like a motorcycle game, but there wasn't like a Pac-Man there, for instance, or a Street Fighter.
That's shocking that there wasn't some kind of Pac-Man game, just because
I know
they put those on all the modern
the
stuff
giant
too,
screen
right?
one.
Yeah.
Namco doesn't miss an opportunity to try and make a buck.
All right, so arcades suck. Got it.
Yeah, our modern arcades are garbage. What did I buy, Tyler? I bought a bunch of stuff I know you hate. So let me tell you about it. I bought a homebrew game, Tyler, that you were really excited when I showed you the picture of it. It's Haunted House 2 3D for the Atari 5200.
That's freaking awesome.
Pretty cool.
Is it awesome?
I don't know. It's like an old homebrew, old-ish. I don't know. It's Haunted House.
You really bought is it a 5200 game, not 2600?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's 5200.
Weird.
Yep.
This was released at Classic Gaming Expo 2002. Back when video game collecting was a cool hobby where everyone just collected Atari stuff and it was all about Atari homebrew.
Man, I was probably at that Classic Gaming Expo. Maybe not 2002, but I went to the Classic Gaming Expos in Vegas. I went to a bunch of them.
That's so neat. I love this.
I have pictures of myself there. That
feels like real video game history, real video game collecting history.
I have pictures of Carly there with me too. That's my wife. Back before she was even my wife.
To what was it? Classic Video Game Expo?
Yeah. CGE, man, in Vegas. Let's go.
This game has a 1.5 star based review on mobygames.com, just so you know.
I don't care. That's not why we bought it. Anyways, that was like a weird thing I bought. It's been on my watch list for a while, and it usually goes for some amount of money, and I got it for, I don't know, it was like $80 or something, and I felt fine about that as a price.
All right.
Which I know a lot of people would be like, you spent how much on an Atari homebrew game? That's stupid.
Not an Atari homebrew game, an Atari 5200 homebrew game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not only are you not going to play it, you're really never going to play it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not even hooking up an Atari 5200 again in your lifetime.
Not if I mean, who knows what can happen. I bought Creepy Castles for the Mac. Hey, love our Mac games, right?
Everybody's jealous of that one.
Tyler, I bought so many games. just like I bought a bunch of like modern horror stuff. Like Video Game Plus had its sale, so a bunch of games were like $10. So I just like packed up on that. Amazon had a bunch of $20 games. eBay was having sales. Like I bought a game called Happy Funland. I don't know if you've ever heard this. It's like a horror game based at like a Disneyland-esque theme park. I bought Shame Legacy. No one's ever heard of that. Jack Holmes, Master of Puppets, some European exclusive PS5 game.
Happy Funland has 37 reviews on Steam. Where do you find this shit?
Tyler, I find it all over. You want to hear about Hellcab? Let me tell you about the Hellcab. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I bought. Like Bridge Curse 2. You ever played Bridge Curse 2?
Nope.
How about Nightfall for PS4? Yeah. How about Madison?
I like when you dive deep into Macintosh and like the ZX Spectrum and all this weird stuff, but man, the modern stuff I can't get into. I just don't care about Happy Funland. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, you don't want to play Welcome to Paradise? It's got a zombie on the cover with headphones on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Happy Funland, I assume you got a console version of this game. So it is a VR game. I do think that the console VR set is maybe interesting.
Yep. Anyways, that's the kind of shit I bought. Odagiriso, I bought. I told you about those ones. Night Ruth. Very funny. Anyways, yep, I bought a lot of dumb, modern, and weird Mac horror. Because I'm on an unending quest to buy all the dumbass horror games.
All right, Johnny. I wish I had more to say about that. I think the most interesting thing we bought was Creepy Castle. Not that anyone knows what that is. If you look it up on YouTube, there's a guy who speed runs it, and he has one comment, and the comment is like, I can't believe someone else speed runs this game. The thing it reminds me most of, it looks like Dark Castle. It probably looks the most like Dragon's Lair on the NES, if you're familiar with that, which does not play at all like the Dragon's Lair arcade game. It's like a very janky, weird platform game. I hesitate to even call it a platform game. It's a very interesting game. Most people
go look it up.
You don't have to. You know what? Go look up freaking Harvester. Don't look up. The Creepy Castle is not worth looking up. Oh, I'll tell you when a game is actually worth looking up.
Do a video on it next year.
All right.
I was thinking about doing 13 games for Christmas time.
I hate
calling it Happy Horror Days.
All right. That's definitely something that's never been used before. No one's ever.
No, definitely not. Days. No. Hey, look, the YouTube algorithm likes things that it can easily identify and sell to people.
Johnny, do we have anything else in this episode? Is that the end of this episode?
No, that's it. That's it for the show. Tyler, we did it. We did the thing. We talked about all the depressing psychological issues as you slide into Christmas. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday and check back in with us right before the new year. That's it for this one. We'll talk to you next time. Bye!